Comcast Cable, Channel 43 presents High School Wrestling. Tonight from Gloucester County College, it's the District 29 Finals. Hello everybody, with John Vogening, I'm John Mondelli, and John, Paulsboro has already clinched the team championship, which means they're probably going to end up, no surprise to anybody, the #1 team in the state, but this was their last hurdle.
Well, it's been a whirlwind of a season. It seems like it started only yesterday, right after Thanksgiving with practice, but from the Caldwell tournament through the Deep Creek tournament down in Chesapeake, Virginia, through the great dual meet in Absegami, to the key dual meets with Clearview and Sterling and Kingsway, to the anticlimactic dual meet at Phillipsburg, which we did, through the groups, and now we're here to the district finals. And John, you couldn't ask for a better season. Ranked #1 in New Jersey in virtually every poll except the Newark Star Ledger, who puts Blair Prep School in the poll, which I don't understand. Ranked nationally, you know that, and it's anticlimactic tonight. Yes, they have won the team championship, but they have 11 wrestlers who would like to go to the Region 8 tournament as champions. We'll see how many they get through. It'll be interesting.
It's a good tournament, though, for some other District 29 schools, some balance throughout the tournament.
Well, that's true, and it's not Paulsboro against the world, but it almost seems like that with 11 out of 14 weight classes having a red and white uniform stepped aside the mat. But Kingsway has done a great job in the tournament. They have 6 wrestlers in the finals. Clearview has 5 wrestlers in the finals. West Deptford has 3. Deptford and Gateway and Pittman each have 1 apiece. So there's some great individual wrestling to come, and it's not the total Paulsboro only show. There's some great wrestlers here who are going to advance to Absegami.
I want to talk about 2 of those great individual wrestlers. Let's start off with Billy Gibbs, 125. He's undefeated. A big win against Joe Alexander earlier in the year. Alexander, a 2-time state champion. Talk about Gibbs.
And I think I had to give Billy Gibbs an awful lot of confidence. He's had a great year. He's going to meet Greg Croce of Paulsboro this evening. He beat Greg Croce in a dual meet. He got an early 4-point move, carried that right through the match. It should be a nail-biter in this one also.
Okay, of course, the other undefeated wrestler, Scott Guerin of Paulsboro.
Well, Scott, what can you say about Scott Guerin that hasn't already been said? He's a fantastic athlete. He was a great football player, probably an unheralded football player. Should have been an all-group football player, and he wasn't. He's going to be All-South Jersey in wrestling. He's going to be a state champion in wrestling. How's that, John?
There you go. Should be a great tournament. We'll be back with the introductions right after this timeout. Welcome back to Gloucester County College with John Vogening. I'm John Mondelli, and they're just announcing the District 29 Coach of the Year, Voge.
And I don't think there's any doubt or any surprise in anybody's mind. The 4th time I think he's won it, but it's Paul Marina, whose team won everything in sight this year. They won the Caldwell tournament. They won the Deep Creek tournament down in Chesapeake, Virginia. They won every match in South Jersey. They beat Phillipsburg in Phillipsburg's pit. They won the South Jersey Group 1, the State Group 1, the Colonial Conference one more time. It's just been an unbelievable year for Paulsboro and Coach Paul Marina.
And it was one of the closest votes, they said. Okay, now we're going to go to Steve Anashevsky for the introductions of tonight's wrestlers in the District 29 tournament.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the 1999 District 29 finalists. At 103, just a moment, please. I'm missing one.
Steve's gathering his notes. We'll fill for him.
I'm missing.
We know Steve won't say anything bad, but maybe want to cut his mic down until we're ready. But I always look forward to the introductions.
Well, it's a myriad of great wrestlers coming out of Gloucester County and out of District 29 every year. District 29 represents itself very, very well in Region 8. This year should be no surprise either. There's some great wrestlers coming out of here.
Coach, what's your thought on the districts this year? Some years there's strong districts, there's weak districts. This district this year, your thoughts?
Well, I think the district this year was kind of dominated because of the great team that Paulsboro had this year. But you look back at, you're dealing with the Tri-County Conference Royal Division champion in Clearview that only had a couple losses the whole year. Kingsway came on very strong, I think, at the end of the year. They started out very young. They remained young.
but they did very well. Okay, now we'll go to the introductions. We'll finish that comment a little later. Steve
At
Ennis.
103 pounds, a junior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. 20-3 this year, 40 wins, 28 losses for his career. From Gateway, P.J. Ryan. His opponent is a freshman and the number 1 seed in this weight class. 22-4 this year, from Paulsboro, Ryan O'Hara. At 112 pounds, a freshman and the number 2 seed in this weight class. 21-2 this year, from Clearview, Mark Cartella. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He is a 2-time District 29 champion, a 2-time Region 8 finalist, and the Region 8 champion in 1998 at 103 pounds. He's 24-4 this year. 95-8 for his career. From Paulsboro, Matt Hunkler. At 119 pounds, a senior, the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 place winner. He was 3rd at 112 in Region 8 last year. He's 18-5 this year. He's 53-26 for his career. From West Deptford, Adam Reed. His opponent is a junior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. 21-5 this year, 24-8 career. From Paulsboro, Chris Kostenbader. At 125 pounds, a junior and the number 1 seed in this weight class, a 3-time District 29 place winner. He's 23-0 this year, 69-11 for his career. From Clearview, Billy Gibbs. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 2 seed at 125. He is a returning District 29 champion, 22-3 this year, 46-8 career. From Paulsboro, Greg Gross. At 130 pounds, a senior and the number 2 seed in this weight class. A 4-time District 29 place winner and former District 29 champion. A 3-time finalist in District 29. A 2-time Region place winner. He was a Region runner-up in 1998. 20-2 this year, 98-13 career. From Clearview, Robert Becker. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He was 2nd in District 29 in 1998. He was 2nd in Region 8 in 1998. 26-2 this year. 66-10 career. From Paulsboro, Preston Hamilton. At 135 pounds, a senior, the number 2 seed in this weight class. A District 29 runner-up last year. A Region 8 runner-up last year. 22-5 this year. 65-19 career. From Kingsway, Darren Guzman. His opponent is a junior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A 3-time District 29 place winner and the defending District 29 champion at 135 pounds. He placed 4th in Region 8 last year at this weight. 24-1 this year. 74-12 career. From Paulsboro, DJ Kama. At 140 pounds, a senior, the number 2 seed in this weight class, a District 29 runner-up in 1998. His record, 21-6 this year. His career record, 52-25. From Kingsway, Jason Grissom. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 1 seed in this weight class. 20-2 this year. 21-3 career from Clearview, Tony Caruso. At 145 pounds, a junior, the number 2 seed in this weight class. He placed 3rd in District 29 in 1998. His record, 20-8 this year. From Kingsway, Ryan Logue. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 1 seed in this weight class. A district runner-up at this weight in 1998. 19-3 this year, 37-8 career. From West Deptford, Maurice Tunstall. At 152 pounds. He's the number 3 seed in this weight. 23-2 this year. 53-16 career from Deptford, Chris Miller. His opponent is a sophomore and the number 1 seed in this weight. He placed 4th in District 29 last year. 20-4 this year. 37 wins, 9 losses career. From West Deptford, Brett Holmes. At 160 pounds, a sophomore, the number 3 seed in this weight. 14-9 this year, 17-19 career. From Kingsway, Sly Van Mortar. His opponent is a senior, and he's the number 1 seed in this weight. He is a 3-time District 32 champion. He is a 2-time Region 8 champion. He placed 3rd in the state at 152 pounds in 1998. He's 27-0 this year, 108-5 career. From Paulsboro, Scott Guerin. At 171 pounds, a sophomore. He was seeded 5th. His record, 13-12 this year. From Kingsway, Mike Roberts. His opponent is a freshman, and he's the number 2 seed in this weight class. 18-9 this year. From Paulsboro, Mike Mendenhall. At 189 pounds, a senior, was seeded 6th in this weight. His record is 7-6 this year. From Kingsway, Brian Kugel. His opponent is a junior and the number 1 seed in this weight. He is a 2-time defending District 29 champion at 189 pounds. He is the defending Region 8 champion at 189 pounds. He placed 5th in the state of New Jersey last year. He's 26-1 this year. He's 83-10 for his career. From Paulsboro, Troy Bennett. At 215 pounds, a sophomore. He placed 4th in District 29 last year. 18-4 this year, 39-9 career. From Clearview, Matt Friel. His opponent is a senior and the number 1 seed in this weight class. He is a defending District 29 champion at 215 pounds. He placed third in Region 8 in 1998. He's 22-5 this year. He's 58-24 career. From Paulsboro, Warren Sharper. At 275 pounds, a sophomore, the number 2 seed in this weight. He's 19-5 this year. His career record is 30-12. From Pittman, Mike Beato. His opponent is a freshman. His record is 24-2 this year. From Paulsboro High School, Tom Curl. Ladies and gentlemen, will you all please rise as Aaron Crasting, music instructor at Paulsboro High School, sings our national anthem. Championship bout, the number 1 seed, Ryan O'Hara, Paulsboro.
Back at Gloucester County College with John Vogening. I'm John Mondelli, and here's the scoring. Paulsboro's already clinched, Voge.
They have, Steve. 221.5 points. Kingsway 171, Clearview 126. But the championship has been clinched. Now we go for the individual glory.
Hey, thanks for calling me Steve, Bob. 103, Ryan O'Hara, Paulsboro, in the number 1 seed against number 2 seed, PJ Ryan. Ryan 20-3, O'Hara 22-4. One of those 3 losses for Ryan against Ryan O'Hara. And I got to say
John.
PJ Ryan, because I don't want to confuse anybody with Ryan O'Hara.
PJ Ryan and Ryan O'Hara. And in the dual meet, Ryan O'Hara won that matchup at the time. PJ, I don't know if he was undefeated because he's lost 3 times, but Ryan O'Hara won 7-2, and he's got a takedown and spin behind, so he takes the lead again.
27 seconds into the match, O'Hara from Paulsboro, who advanced with a pin in his semifinal match. Ryan decisioned Adam Schober, actually a major, right? 11-3. Schober of Kingsway.
Ryan O'Hara, as we mentioned, 22-4 going into this match. He lost to Matt Valente of Kittatinny in 107 early in the year in the Caldwell tournament. As you see, an escape. He lost to Dave Chapman of Absegami, who was a district runner-up last year. He lost to Chris Mecca of Phillipsburg 4-0 in that infamous matchup between Paulsboro and Phillipsburg in the pit that we did. And he lost to Terrence Thompson of Rock Hill, South Carolina. So quality losses for Ryan O'Hara, the freshman. PJ Ryan, the junior, lost to Eric Kafari of Haddon Heights, who Ryan O'Hara beat 2-0. He lost to O'Hara 7-2, and he lost to Plotz of Collingswood 11-8. PJ with 40 wins coming in here as we see the Gateway corner with
that Guy Davidson?
Guy Davidson, who was an assistant there with Normandin, the head coach. Art Normandin, whose son will be wrestling for a Division III National Championship upcoming. His son Ryan Normandin, a sophomore at the College of New Jersey.
Where was he? Shawnee, Lenape?
Shawnee High School.
Shawnee.
He's ranked number 1 or number 2 in the country right now. I haven't seen the latest rankings. The last ones I saw, he was number 2. As you mentioned, Ryan O'Hara came in here to number 1 seed. He had a bye on Friday night. They won by a fall, 123 over Doug Falwell of Clearview.
Speaking of rankings, the latest national rankings came out. Paulsboro, 9th in the country, Voge.
That's amazing. A lot of credit for the team. PJ Ryan opened up with a 19-second fall over Jay Giganti of Deptford. He beat Adam Schober, as you mentioned, 11-3 major decision. Schober will go to Absegami as a third-place finisher. He pinned Doug Falwell of Clearview in 157 in the consolation. The district championship, John, by the way, for Paulsboro is the 35th in their illustrious career, but it's only the 2nd in a row.
That's right. 2 years ago, Kingsway dethroned Paulsboro after they'd won how many straight district titles?
They had won 25 in a row, I believe it was, because they've won 26 out of the last 27. So they won 25 in a row. They lost. They won again last year, and they've already clinched this year. That's the 35th in their career.
Well, I'm going to see that. I was going to call you Bob. Coach, let's talk about Gateway. Interesting this year, Gateway and Woodbury combining programs. How do you think that worked out this year?
Well, it gave kids a chance to wrestle. We have a warning against O'Hara for coming up too early on the bottom. The kids from Woodbury wouldn't have wrestled anywhere. There were only 3 or 4 of them that went over to Gateway's program, but it helped both. Both smaller schools, although when they join in a co-op program like that, you see the escape. When they join in a co-op program like that, John, that put them in Group 3. So even though Woodbury's a Group 1 school, when they joined up with Gateway, as you see a spin behind, no takedown yet. No takedown yet.
Nothing.
Thought you might have had a takedown there, but they went out of bounds. Referee Roy Fenimore says no. When they joined together, of course, they had to be rated as a Group 3 team because you take the enrollment of the 2 schools.
Right. 30 seconds in the period number 2. Ryan O'Hara over P.J. Ryan. O'Hara from Paulsboro, P.J. Ryan from Gateway, as we talked about.
4 freshmen in the Paulsboro lineup this year, John, and 3 of them have reached the finals of District 29. The other one was James Funk, who was a 3rd placer earlier in this program.
Now, I'm sure that puts fear in the rest of the District 29 schools, knowing that.
Well, Paulsboro had 5 seniors in the lineup this year, and some quality seniors, without a doubt. But all these schools are getting stronger, John. I see in the program a list. Clearview put an ad in there, and it had names of their mini program people in there, and there were an awful lot of names there.
And I think that's the key to a good program. You got to start at that level.
Either that level, or you have to really start to intensify in the 7th and 8th grade level. Paulsboro's profited the last 2 years by some 7th and 8th graders coming up that have stepped into the lineup or the key backup roles. Nice arm drag by PJ. No takedown yet. Ryan O'Hara in trouble. PJ Ryan has to take him to the mat.
I talked about this.
Ryan O'Hara comes to the overhook and battles out of it.
I never seen a freshman with so much composure out there on the mat.
Well, he's been through some wars. People say when you get a crowd this size, and we're standing room only in here tonight, there's not a seat to be had in here. What a tribute to wrestling and a tribute to District 29. We have an injury timeout, looks like, for Ryan O'Hara. You see in the other corner, PJ being talked. There's Ryan O'Hara with his head coach, Paul Marina, and Larry Livingood, the trainer from Paulsboro, who's been the trainer for the whole District 29. Roy Fenimore, the 1 official. Behind him, Orville Wilson, the assistant in this match.
Dean Duca, the assistant with Paulsboro. And now we look at the Gateway side. Guy Davidson, 2 years ago, coached Kingsway to a state Group 2 title.
And you just might see him as the head coach at Gateway within a year or so. Art Norman has stepped in and kept the program alive this year by agreeing to be the coach. Now, you mentioned savvy, John. We're mentioning the crowd size and the intimidation. I don't think there's much of an intimidation factor for the Paulsboro wrestlers from freshman through senior because they've been to Caldwell, they've been to Deep Creek, they've been to Phillipsburg. Where else can you get intimidated? 10 seconds left in the period. (3-1) to score in favor of Ryan O'Hara. That's the way it went in the 3rd period to score 3-1. Gateway, I'm sure, will take the bottom. P.J. Ryan.
I believe PJ's dad might be one of the assistant coaches.
Well, I think you're certainly correct. Pete Ryan, a longtime teacher and coach at Gateway High School. Interestingly enough, when Pete Ryan was wrestling for Woodbury High School years ago, he lost to Marvin Hamilton in the district finals. Says on the sheet that we got that he bit him. I guess.
Marvin's sitting right next to you. Maybe he can verify that. Marvin, can you remember that? I know you're up there in age, huh?
PJ's dad, Pete, lost to Marvin Hamilton in the district finals. Marvin claims he didn't wrestle him in the finals, so maybe he wrestled him somewhere. In a dual meet, maybe. Got a caution on
That's
Ryan
a big
O'Hara.
point. Big point, Voj. It's now 3-2. This match is being decided by a takedown.
Caution point. course, you don't want to do that because they run to infinity. There's the escape for Gateway. That makes it 3-3. And P.J. O'Hara goes right in on a takedown move. Nothing yet, but he's in deep. He's in deep. He's got the takedown. Gives P.J. Ryan a 5-3 lead. One minute remaining in the third period. Stalemate.
1 minute left.
Here again, you have a freshman against a junior, and the junior has already lost to the freshman earlier this year. Did he learn something from it? It's apparent that he has. He's not intimidated. He's come at Ryan O'Hara full tilt. Harris to push up. He's got to get 2 points to tie it. He elevates.
$35 seconds. O'Hara trying to get the reversal instead of trying to get the one first.
Stalemate is called. 30 seconds remaining in the third period. Ryan O'Hara needs a big move in a hurry.
Nice job by P.J. Ryan. Came into this third period down 3-1. 4 unanswered points.
Nice counter by P.J. Ryan. He's almost had a back count. Not going to make any difference. Ryan O'Hara is in deep trouble. 15 seconds to go. He's got to get out. P.J. Ryan, he's a junior. He's been through it before. Big win for P.J. Ryan. 5-3, the final.
So P.J. Ryan at Gateway with a 5-3 win, and that's our first winner tonight. We're happy over on the Gateway side.
Dad Pete hugging his son. Mom, I guess. Ryan Norman's dad, Dan Norman, the coach. Took kind of an upset to start the final round. Paulsboro was in the lead, but is in the lead. They've clinched the tournament, but that's 1 second place for Paulsboro.
To go to 112 pounds, the number 1 seed, Matt Hunkler of Paulsboro, the number 2 seed, Mark Cartella of Clearview.
Matt Hunkler, of course, has been around for a long time now, it seems like, John. 95 career wins, 12 losses. Mark Cartella, a freshman. Like Paulsboro with 4 freshmen, Clearview has their freshman guns. This is one of them. Cartella 21-2 this year. Lost to Jim Parker 6-5 and Rob Jimenez 9-3. Those are his 2 losses. 21-2 this year as a freshman.
With a stalemate, 34 seconds in, no score.
Hunkler, the senior, 24-4. He lost to Jordan Hicks, freshman from Eastern at 119 pounds in the Caldwell Finals. He lost to Brian Stith of Cox, Virginia, 12-6, who ended up winning the Deep Creek Championship. He lost to Justin Tate of Phillipsburg 2-1 in overtime. And he lost to Tom Becker of Absegami in overtime. The loss in overtime to Phillipsburg was a stinger because it was on a stalling call, John, you remember?
Absolutely.
See the corner with John Marinelli and Bill Chiaffi. John Marinelli, the head coach to the left. Paul Marina, the veteran head coach of Paulsboro and the District 29 Coach of the Year by a vote of the coaches. Which means, John, he'll have a chance to be honored at the state tournament as the state coach of the year. If he is selected Region 8 Coach of the Year, I guess that's the next step, Region 8. Those coaches have to nominate a coach to represent Region 8. And then that Region Coach of the Year will be in the running for State Coach of the Year. But it'd be kind of interesting with Paulsboro obviously going to get the number 1 team in the state award this year from the Wrestling Coaches Association. I would think that's a foregone conclusion.
You would
undefeated
think so.
team in the state. 20 seconds left in the opening period. No score.
Now, when Clearview and Paulsboro met in a dual meet, Cobley wrestled at this weight. And that matter of fact, if you remember, Voj, that was tight until I think Hunkler had like a 4 or 5 point move in the second period.
Yes.
He might get a late takedown here, though.
There's a spin behind takedown. That's senior experience there, John. Senior experience. Takedown in the last 5 seconds for a 2-0 lead.
The medal presentation.
Paulsboro deferred on that choice. Clearview will be on the bottom. Hunkler had 31 wins as a junior, 32 as a sophomore, 8 as a freshman, 24 this year. Twice a district champion, twice a Region 8 finalist, and first as a junior. 103-pounder last year, John. Moved up to 112 this year. In fact, he's wrestled 119 early in the season. And he's a growing young man, so it was pretty tough in the beginning, getting down to 112. Once he's reached it, he has done well.
Well, he needs a great state tournament to reach 100. He has 95 wins. He can get there, but he needs a good tournament.
Well, if he wins tonight, that would be 96. If he wins all 3 at the regions, which is not an easy task, that would be 99. And the first time he wrestles in the Region 7-8 Super Regions at Cherry Hill East, that would be for 100.
We have some blood.
And we have an escape by Cartella, so the score is 2-1. And a blood timeout. Of course, in a blood timeout, they can have up to 5 minutes. It's at the discretion of the referee. If it's gushing, the referee could stop it earlier than 5 minutes, but they generally get it stopped.
Of course, earlier tonight we had a chance to bring you the consolations that were run, I think, at an earlier date.
Exciting consolations, too. I had one of the most exciting matches in that third place match at 112 pounds where Greg McClintock of West Deptford beat Jerry Gardzellik of Kingsway 17-14. Hunkler, the #1 seed in this weight class, he pinned Kevin Baker of Glassboro in 38 seconds. He pinned Greg McClintock in 3:22. Mark Cartel, the #2 seed, he pinned Mike Rudley of Pittman in 23 seconds. He pinned Jerry Gardzellik of Kingsway in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So they both pinned their way to the finals. And now the score is a 2-1 count with Hunkler in the lead.
We want to remind everybody, 4 officials today, and they'll rotate every match.
Orville Wilson, the referee in this match, and Chris Hunder. His claim to fame in a way, John, was...
I can tell you right now,
he
when Cherry Hill East beat Paulsboro.
He wrestled in that infamous match when Cherry Hill East beat Paulsboro to stop a winning streak of 96 consecutive.
Which is the longest in the history of New Jersey.
They have the 2 longest, 96 and 84. The 84 in a row was stopped over at Rancocas Valley some years ago. John Marinelli, one of the gentleman coaches in South Jersey, is the Clearview coach, and he is in his 11th year. 18-2 was his team's record this year, and they were the Tri-County Conference Royal Division champions. Paul Marina, of course, the coach at Paulsboro, in his 14th year, 20-0, the record this year, the only undefeated team in the state. Unbelievable record that Marina has compiled too, John. 200, I think it's 280 wins, 7 losses, and 4 ties.
That's not too bad.
Not shabby at all.
I think we could find room for him over at St. James. You know.
Maybe we'll hire him back next year. 45 seconds ago, the score is 2-1 in favor of Hunkler of Paulsboro. Almost have a stalemate situation here.
They got it.
Hunkler is a very smart wrestler, John. He's one of the top students in the class, and he's a technician out there.
Yeah, matter of fact, Fudge had a chance to read the Courier today. Looks like Brown or Penn from Matt Hunkler, huh?
Well, he's got the intelligence to go to those places without a doubt. 15 seconds ago in the period. 2-1, Hunkler leading Cartella. kind of like a computer expert to an extent. He had his own web page early in the year. He shut it down when the season started because he wanted to concentrate on his final year. The caution on Cartella, getting a little bit too anxious out there. That's the first caution. And the period will end with a 2-1 score in favor of Hunkler of Paulsboro. Third period, Hunkler will start on the bottom. Hunkler 8-1 as a freshman, John, because he was starting behind that David Given, district champion, if you remember.
I remember Given had a great season. I think had a big win against West Deptford in their dual meet that year.
Yes, he did. Well, Cartel is certainly wrestling very well. He's a freshman. He's going to be around for 3 more years, John.
Yeah, the Clearview program has really been built up. Unbelievable job they've done in Manchwood Township and Harrison, out that area.
Well, they have numbers. They have their Group 3 school, and that's what you need. If you're going to have a competitive program like they've put on the mat this year, you've got to start them young. I'm not a big fan of starting at TOTS level, but you keep it in perspective and teach them the basics and don't make it life or death, I have no problem.
Unfortunately, got put in the bad bracket in the group playoffs because they had to go up against Brick Memorial right away.
And Brick Memorial won the state championship. They beat Egg Harbor Township in the one match, but then they had to face number 2 seed Brick Memorial. And of course, Delsey knocked off
Lacey,
number 1 seed at Lacey Township, and then Brick Memorial beat Delsey and then kind of breezed to the state title. Delsey and Brick Memorial was probably much better than anything that happened in the state tournament.
Yeah, the state tournament, I mean, Gloucester County did well. I mean, Washington Township, that close match against Absegami. And Paulsboro, Kingsway did well.
And Absegami went on to lose to Phillipsburg close. You're going to see an intentional escape here, a freestyle start. Cartella giving a freestyle start. And of course, when you let him go,
you got to take him down.
You got to take him down. 1 minute remaining in the third period. Hunkler Paulsboro leads by a 3-1 score. And you'll watch officials, John. You may see this. Maybe the fans can't see it. But anytime one of the wrestlers gets a front headlock on, there's an awful lot of scrutiny given to that nowadays because of the Carl Schmidt rule. There was a good spin behind. I think Orville Wilson called that a little bit too fast because he spun behind and all his supporting points were inbounds. That might have been a takedown, John.
No, Voj, it wasn't. 3-1.
I know.
I'm just playing with you.
30 seconds to go.
And there's a spin behind. It looks like he's going to get the 2 there.
And that just about clinch it. That makes it 5-1 with 20 seconds to go. And Matt Hunkler is going to join an elite group of wrestlers over the years to win his 3rd consecutive district championship.
And Matt Hunkler will become the 70th district champ Paul Marina has coached.
Amazing, eh? Amazing. Clearview was given a caution. Hunkler's got this one wrapped up. He's going to win it 5-1. 3-time District 29 champion, Matt Hunkler.
Good showing, though, by Mark Cartella, the freshman. I'm sure we're going to hear his name the next 3 years. We'll take a break. We'll come back with 119. Back at 119 pounds, Chris Costenbader and Adam Reed. 12 seconds in. Costenbader 21-5, the number 2 seed. Adam Reed finished 3rd in districts last year. He's 19-5. He is the number 1 seed.
Adam Reed this year lost to Joe Alexander of Delsey. Not unusual for most people in South Jersey. He lost by a fall. He lost to Caruso of Clearview 7-3. He lost to Alexander again by an 8-0 major decision. Lost to Manchio of Sterling 5-1. He lost to Alexander of Delsey again, 5-1. So 3 times, 3 of his 5 losses were to defending state champion Joe Alexander of Delsey, 2-time defending state champion. 53 wins in Adams' career. 3rd in the districts last year at 112. 3rd in the districts 2 years ago at 112. No takedown, according to Chris Hunter. Got his man up, but before he could get full control, they went out of bounds. Chris Kostenbader, a junior, his first year of varsity action. He got a little bit of varsity play as a sophomore, 3-3 modest record. 21-5 this year. His losses, some pretty quality losses. He lost to Bobby Ingram of Cox, Virginia. He lost to Brad Davenport of Great Bridge, Virginia. He lost to Joe Alexander of Delsey by Tech Fall, 2-time state champion. He did lose to Adam Reed of West Deptford, 3-0 in the dual meet. And he lost to James Allen of Phillipsburg, 14-7, who was 3rd in the regions in Pennsylvania last year. Ingram of Cox, Virginia, 2-time state champion. Davenport, a district champ in Virginia.
Stall warning on Kostenbader. Now he's aggressive, trying to go in on the leg. Reed will fight him off. And you don't want to let Reed take you down, and so work those legs, Foge.
Yes, he will. And you know, I think it's the first time they met. I think Kostenbader was a little bit unsure of himself. He gave a lot of respect to Reed, who was twice a bronze medalist in the districts. And, you know, they all put their pants on one leg at a time, John. So in wrestling, you have to go out there, have confidence in yourself, and just let it go.
Stalemate.
32 seconds left in the opening period. No score.
Reed in on the leg. No points yet.
He's got Kostenbader in deep trouble here. He's in a sitting position. If he can knock him off his base, he's going to get the takedown. Two points with 6 seconds to go.
Foge in the semifinals. Kostenbader beat Gus Caruso of Clearview 11-3. Caruso came into that match with 1 loss, and that was to Kostenbader in the dual meet. Reed had a tough one against Carmen Leon of Kingsway, who came back to win his consolation match. That score 3-2.
As you mentioned, 3-2. Adam Reed got a bye in the very first round. Kostenbader had to wrestle in the first round and beat Joe Uva Glassboro Tech Fall team in 4:27. He beat Gus Caruso 11-3 in the semis and really did a great job on Caruso, who he had beaten in the dual meet also, but major decision team in the semis. Adam Reed, of course, the nephew of Mark Reed, the one-time horse trainer.
Looks like he got poked in the eye.
Yeah. Butch Reed, of course, Adam's father, was a West Deptford wrestler, as was Mark Reed.
Had a chance to work with Adam's dad announcing for the West Deptford TV station over there at the high school. We did the match. There's Mr. and Mrs. Som in the white shirts from Glassboro. They've been long fans of high school wrestling, especially in South Jersey. Their son Mark was a great wrestler, won a district title, finished I think 3rd in the state one year.
Yeah, 4-time district finalist. Has Mrs. Som got to sit below her husband for some particular reason, or should she have the top row and her husband is down below her?
I have no idea. But she's working over at Rowan. They came over and said hi. I used to watch the show all the time. So great people.
Brian Farnham and Greg Lay in the West Deptford corner, very active. Paul Marina and Dean Duca, very quiet in the Paulsboro corner. Stand up, wrist control. Kostenbader with the escape.
That's the first points Kostenbader's gotten off of Reed in 4 periods. There's Greg Lay to the left, Farnham, the head coach, to the right. Reed in on the leg, though.
Kostenbader is coming in too much upright, I think, John. He's giving that leg away, and you can't do that against an experienced wrestler like Adam Reed. Paul Marina standing up. 2-1 to score with a minute left in the second period. Adam Reed of West Deptford, the senior, leading Chris Costenbader, the junior from Paulsboro, as they go out of bounds again.
And Costenbader has to be the aggressor, Votes, because he already has a stall warning against him.
And he was the aggressor in the semifinal match. With a shrill whistle in my headset. We didn't pay the rent?
I don't know. Can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay, I think I'm back.
You're back.
Let's apologize for some audio problems. We hope your dog's feeling well at home now.
27 seconds left in this second period. Costenbader needs a takedown. He's losing 2-0. Adam Reed, I'm sure, will be on the bottom in the third period. Costenbader got to keep the pressure on. A lot of people calling for stalling against Reed. Caution on Adam Reed with 15 seconds to go.
The wrestler wants to make a mistake here in the final 8 seconds.
Well, Reed got to take down the final 6 in the first period. Well, of course, a lot of people calling for the stall against Reed, and Brian Farnham jumping up, clapping his hands, and Reed was just defending himself.
2 minutes to wrestle.
It's going to be hard holding Reed down for 2 full minutes. Costenbader desperately needs some kind of back points or some kind of a point to get back in the match. He's down 2-1. Jay Ryan, of course, winning the 103-pound weight class. He lost to Ryan O'Hara in the dual meet and came back to beat him tonight for that championship. So wrestling the same wrestler twice or 3 times in one season sometimes can be a challenge. Costenbader tackles his man down. Well, it's funny, John. I've seen a lot of wrestling this year. I've seen all kinds of stall calls. And I don't know if I really understand stalling.
Got a question over here at the scorer's table.
Brian Farnham calling him over, asking for a locking hands. Didn't get what his request was. Stalling warning comes against West Deptford. So they both have stalling warnings, John.
I don't know if do you agree with that call?
What's that?
Do you agree with the stall call?
Well, I thought there was stalling earlier. I don't know whether Chris Hunter, the referee, was just deciding at that point there was stalling, or whether he stalled earlier and saw an opportunity where it wasn't quick movement to make a stall call. But Adam Reed still has the lead. He's leading 2-1. And it's Costenbader that's going to have to do something to either turn his man or get a point. There's only 49 seconds left.
At what point do you think about letting him go?
Well, it's going to be very close. Just saw Paul Marina indicate to his wrestler should he use the freestyle start, and that's what's going to happen. So he's going to give him a point, and if you give him a point,
got to take him down. I'm leading into that. I got you.
It's 3-1. I think we had a caution there. That's West Deptford with its second caution. No points yet. Does it one more time, he'll be called for a point.
Got to swing around, and Adam Reed fighting him off with 30 seconds left.
Adam Reed's been through the wars. He knows what he needs. there trying to spin behind, but Adam Reed, savvy enough to keep his arms out. 15 seconds to go. They go out of bounds.
Got a stall.
That's 1 point. And it may be too little too late.
5 seconds. Kostenbader needs, obviously, to get a quick takedown. Reed's got to go forward because he doesn't want to tie the match up. Kostenbader in on the leg. Not going to be enough time. Reed, an excellent job tying him up. He's going to come home with the District 29 title.
Well, Farnham playing to the crowd like an immature little son. It's a shame. It's a shame. Bob Frederick runs to the corner to scold him. Farnham doesn't want to incite that crowd. I'll tell you, he'll never win that one.
However, the crowd should not pull a high school wrestler, Vogue.
No, absolutely not.
You know, crowd's got to, you know, the coach has to remain calm, but the coach cannot, I mean, the crowd can't boo.
No, the crowd can't boo, and the coach has got to ignore that. He can't get into a hissing contest with a crowd.
And maybe they're booing the officials, I don't know, maybe the refs, maybe the whole match, I don't know. But the crowd, you know, can't boo.
I agree.
We're going to have the awards ceremony at 119, or for 112 as we get ready for 125. And this is going to be an interesting match, folks. Let's set this one up at 125. Billy Gibbs and Greg Cross, because they met in that dual meet. And this was a tight match, except for one
big move.
Yep.
Billy Gibbs won 5-0, John, but he got 4 points in one move. Takedown and back point. So it could be an interesting match.
We look at 25, Gibbs pin to get here. Cross with a pin in 4:59 to get here. One of the most interesting pins I've seen in a while. A freestyle start, just I think really faked this guy out.
He did, and I've seen that several times this year. When you put your hands on the back for a freestyle start, it doesn't mean you necessarily have to cut the guy loose. And if the guy doesn't move, you come out to the side and put a near side cradle or any kind of pinning combination on, he's fair game.
Waiting for the officials.
Billy Gibbs, a great year, 23-0 this year, 69-11 in his career. Third in the districts last year, second in the districts the year before. He's wrestling Greg Prost, the sophomore who won a district championship last year as a freshman. Has 46 wins and 8 losses in his varsity career. He lost to Mike Weber of Kittatinny in overtime in the Caldwell tournament. He lost to Chris Collins of Rock Hill, South Carolina, two-time South Carolina state champion. He lost to Billy Gibbs 5-0. Those are his 3 losses.
Let's talk about the techniques, because they've wrestled each other before, and you thought Cross should have wrestled a little different the last time. If you're Gibbs, what do you look for?
Well, if I'm Gibbs, I look for anything this time, because last time he was prepared for the other upper body move, which is what Greg tried to get. Gibbs countered it and not only got takedown but got back points out of it. And Cross, ever since that time, has really used a variety of takedown type attempts. I've seen him go to low singles, to drags, to high crotch series. He's used a variety. He hasn't relied strictly on the upper body moves, which he tried to, I thought, in the match against Gibbs in the dual meet. Well, we saw one wrestler get revenge tonight in P.J. Ryan of Gateway, as we see Joe Henry call stalemate, the referee. P.J. Ryan gets revenge from a dual meet loss to Ryan O'Hara of Paulsboro. We saw Matt Hunkler win for the second time this year against a Clearview wrestler, although it was Coveney in the dual meet and Cartella this time. And we saw at 119, Adam Reed beat Kostenbader for the second time this year, although it was much closer this time.
35 seconds left. Neither wrestler looks like they're just tying each other up. And Cross, a lot of his matches are like this.
Well, a lot of respect, I think, from both ways. Like I say, Gibbs wrestled him before, and look for the upper body. He's looking for everything this time. Cross again going upper body. 20 seconds left in the period. No score.
Down to 9 seconds left. trying to get in there, shoot low this time. Looks like we're going to end scoreless, but whoop, we do. 2 seconds left.
2 seconds to go. It's quite a flurry there at the end by Gibbs. So you see Paul Marina and Dean Duke in the Paulsboro corner. No score. There's John Marinelli to the left, Billy Chiaffi to the right, the Clearview Brain Trust. Clearview's choice, they take the bottom. We mentioned John Marinelli this year having an excellent 18-2 season. You see Greg Croce give the intentional escape. Not going to waste his energy trying to hold him down, but if you let him go,
I know,
you got to be able to take him down.
You know, one thing I've said this about Croce before is he's never intimidated by a wrestler.
No, I don't think so. I think he's got a lot of athletic talent, John. Of course, you saw him when he was younger as a baseball player. I've seen him for 2 years as a wrestler. He's a determined youngster. Of course, Billy Gibbs wouldn't be 23-0 entering this match if he didn't have talent.
You beat Joe Alexander, you have talent. And of course, Croce had a big win last year. Beat Manchio, Sterling in the dual meet, right?
Yep.
And there's a takedown.
Takedown by Gibbs.
3-0.
And again, he fought the upper body move and spun behind. Very strong youngster. .50 seconds ago in the second period. Billy Gibbs of Clearview, 3-0 as Greg Croce. Gibbs very strong on top, John.
Of course, last year Gibbs was also wrestling 125, and 125 last year was a loaded weight class. Mercado, Hamilton, Gibbs, and Voleco, and Gibbs finishing third, beating Voleco. Andy Voleco 7-1.
Gibbs third last year, second the year before. The PA system is really going goofy tonight. Got a stalling warning on Croce. Got a stalling warning on Gibbs.
9 seconds left. 3-0. Billy Gibbs.
Referee Joe Henry saying, well, you're not doing anything on the bottom, and you're just as bad on top not doing anything. Work for the fall, work to get out. That's the end of 2 periods. 3-0, Billy Gibbs on top, John.
We're going to take a break, come back with period number 3 after this. And where we left you, except 10 seconds into period number 3. Billy Gibbs 3, Greg Croce 0. And Croce having trouble scoring points just like the first time they met.
Both wrestlers have been warned for stalling. Gibbs is very, very strong on top. He's countering well, he's moving well, but he's also riding. And when you ride like that, you're going to get called for stalling. And that is the call, stalling, and it is now 3-1. Gibbs still in control, though.
Croce doesn't look like he's...
Croce has not scored any points against Gibbs this year of his own accord. He got a point there for the stalling call on Gibbs. There's a stalling call on Croce on the bottom.
That was a big point, too.
And that takes him right back to a 3-point lead of 4-1.
I don't think there's no way you should be called for stalling when you're losing in a match in the third period, when you're on the bottom. I'm not arguing the call, I'm just saying as a wrestler you can't be called for stalling in that situation.
No, you have to explode off the bottom. And I just don't see the explosion in Croce that I've seen in matches earlier. And of course, these are important matches because if you lose in this match, it means you have to wrestle the first round at the Region 8 tournament. And you're going to wrestle, if you're second here, you're going to wrestle a third placer from another district. But it still means you have to wrestle, and you don't get a seated position.
And of course, you may not be seeing that explosion from Crust because of the job Gibbs is doing.
Oh, I think he's dominating right now on top. I mean, he's got a blanket type ride. He's very strong. He's not allowing much room to do anything down there.
"30 seconds left. 4-1, Billy Gibbs.
Well, 4-1 is the lead, and I don't think, barring a miracle, Gibbs is going to give up 4 points in the last 25 seconds. "15 seconds to go. Gibbs in control. They could meet again in Region 8 for the third time this year, but 2 times Gibbs has been the dominant wrestler.
And he'll come home with the district crown. 4-1, Billy Gibbs of Clearview over Greg Cross of Paulsboro in a battle of defending district champs.
125 District 29 champion, the 4-1 decision, Bill Gibbs.
So for John Marinelli of Clearview, that's his 10th district champ that he's coached in his 11 years. And he'll get to
Third place.
send another wrestler out right away. We should have one of the premier matchups coming up after we have the awards ceremony here for 119 pounds. There you see Billy Gibbs after a tough match. They're wars, but Gibbs just seems to dominate and Crows can't score.
I was impressed with Billy Gibbs, John. The first time there was a 4-point move that played a major role in that match. Even though he won 5-0, I think you take the 4-point move away, and it was a 1-0 match. And there was no doubt this time. Billy Gibbs had a plan of attack. He was going to counter any type of takedown coming at him, and he was thoroughly, I thought, in control. He did a really, really, really good job. I give credit to Billy Gibbs.
I mean, I think he held Joe Alexander to 1 point, I think, in their dual meets. I mean, that tells you something right there. I don't care if Alexander's moving up 1 weight, 2 weights, or at his original weight. That tells you something.
Yeah, 2-time state champ.
And Billy's mom just walked by. I had a chance to talk to her during the semifinal match. Okay, 130. This is a great matchup. Becker and Hamilton, a rematch. Preston won the first matchup in the dual meet. Was it 7-2? It was
7-3.
7-3.
Robert Becker comes in here. He's a senior. He was second in the district last year, first his sophomore year, and third his freshman year. So he's been third, first, second, and he's in the finals again. So he's a 3-time district finalist. He was third in the regions in '97, second in the region last year. Got a lot of talent. 2 losses this year. He lost to Greg Austin of Ocean City 12-5. He lost to Preston Hamilton 7-3.
Well, everybody's lost to Alston.
Yes. 98 wins for Becker. So if he wins this match, John, it'll be his 99th win. Preston Hamilton of 26-2, senior. He lost to Leon Henry of Truman, New York by fall in the finals of the Caldwell Championships, and didn't lose again until last week when he lost to John Rodriguez of Boundbrook 8-7 in 1998 District 18 champion when Paulsboro won the State Group 1 championship against Boundbrook 8-7. And Hamilton was not feeling well that day. He had thrown up that morning, and no excuses because Rodriguez is a great wrestler. He entered that match with only 1 loss.
I guess my question, I don't know the answer to this. Did they need him to wrestle that day? Because it seemed like the way they were, they really didn't need him.
I think the decision was completely left up to Preston and his father Marvin on whether to go or not to go. And he wrestled in the semifinal, State Group 1. He won 18-6, I believe was the score. Still didn't look 100%. And in the finals, like I said, he lost by a point. But give credit to John Rodriguez, a District 18 champion last year, who used some pretty slick moves on the way to that win. Several takedowns. Hamilton 4-1 as a freshman, 8-1 as a sophomore, 28-6 as a junior.
Marvin Hamilton just to our left, videotaping this match as we see a takedown for his son, Preston.
That came with 28 seconds left.
Matter of fact, if our cameraman goes down, Vogue, Marvin's right next to you. We'll just send him up on the scaffold or down somewhere to help out.
Preston Hamilton's second last year, second year before.
And I tell you, we had a chance to talk to Becker at the Kingsway matches. We see a reversal, and we're tied at 2.
That was a good move, a really good move by Becker, because he was almost out. You see Marvin Hamilton doing the videotaping of his son. He was almost out, and Hamilton started to counter it, and Becker didn't give up on the move, and he got his own reversal. So it's 2-2. Got a caution on Clearview.
I think a key here for Becker is just to hold him for the last 12 seconds.
And Hamilton, of course, should be battling to get at least 1 point in the last 12 seconds. Goes a Granby roll right to a reversal, right to back points. Oh my, what a run out of time, but what a great move to get 4 points at least.
We'll see, he gets
2
and
reversal and 3 back points. That's a big 5-point move.
And I believe he had one of those in the dual meet.
Yep. And John, that came, as you mentioned, just before that with 12 seconds to go. 5-point move makes it 7-2 Hamilton after 1 period.
Preston trying to pick it up for Paulsboro. Paulsboro losing, what, 3 of the first 4 in the final.
Yep, they lost at 103, and they lost at 119 and lost at 125. By the way, we look up family trees, John, or family ties in District 29. Of all the Hamiltons, Marvin was the district champion in 1966 and 1967. His brother Tyrone was the champion in 71, 72, and 73. Jeff was the champion in 73, 74, 75, and 76. Bryant was a champion in 78 and 79. Those are all brothers. And of course, Preston is Marvin's son. And with 11 gold medals going in this match for the family, that would be the 12th, and that's pretty remarkable.
Preston's brother wrestled at Paulsboro, Marvin Junior, right? Obviously
Marvin,
not senior.
Yeah, Ham wrestled here. He was second in the districts. And a caution on Clearview, and that's the second caution. One more, and that starts them 1 point at a time.
We talk about Becker. His only loss in this weight class was to Hamilton, because Austin he wrestled at 135.
Right.
Austin from Ocean City, undefeated. So, yeah, 2 quality losses and only 1 in his weight class.
In 1997, Ham, or Marvin Hamilton Jr., lost to Kevin Van Brill of Clearview 8-4. The year before, he lost to Kevin Van Brill by a fall. So 2 years in a row, Ham was in the finals of the districts and lost to Kevin Van Brill of Clearview. So here's Preston, who just gave up an escape, wrestling a Clearview wrestler and winning 7-3 at this point.
We have 1:10 left.
Of course, 2 great matches with Jason Mercado last year, John.
I think it was 4-3 last year.
Well, in the districts last year, at 125 pounds, Jason Mercado beat Preston Hamilton 4-3. And then they met up again, I believe. There you see it, spin behind takedown in the regional finals. (1998) 125 Region 8 finals. Jason Mercado beat Preston Hamilton 7-5 in overtime.
Hamilton's been in some close matches. Out of bounds. 9-3 with 25 seconds left in the second period.
Now, the dual meet was a very modest 7-3 win, and now it's 9-3. So Hamilton is very confident against a wrestler who has been no worse than 3rd in the districts in his career.
What do you think the word to describe Hamilton is? Flamboyant? Would that be a good word?
Well, flamboyant at times, merciless at times, steady at other times. You got to watch for an escape here. There's a 1-point escape. Very technical at times. 9-4 is the score.
I think Preston Hamilton can be almost as good as he wants to be, John. When he puts his mind to it, he's a tireless worker out there. When he won the Deep Creek tournament this year, he was a dominant wrestler. We head for the third period. Hamilton will take the bottom, and he's leading 9-4.
Couple of seniors as we see Hamilton.
Becker third in Region 8 2 years ago. Second in the region last year.
And they go out, 15 seconds into period number 3.
Last year, Becker lost to Damian Green of Paulsboro. Remember Damian Green?
No, not just joking.
But he pinned Becker in 5 minutes and 40 seconds.
So Becker's been here before. Hamilton on the bottom. And they'll go out.
All right, 1:27 to go. Hamilton leading 9-4. He's got to explode off the bottom here. A little bit of bloody nose. This has happened on more than one occasion this year.
And the second blood timeout tonight. Let's count them. Remind everybody, Tuesday and Wednesdays at 7:30, it's the High School Sports Report. Join myself, Mark Narducci, and Steve Anishevsky. We talk about all the issues in high school sports, anything from my son's soccer team to any of those other sports.
In the eyes of your son, are there other sports?
They're just, they were just supposed to comment, you know, what? But obviously be talking about the districts this week, upcoming regions, the high school basketball playoffs start on Monday. Some great matchups, some local teams going at it against each other. Group 1 should be strong. Gloucester County well represented with Woodbury, Glassboro, and Paulsboro. So we're hoping to make some noise in high school basketball here on Comcast.
So the trainer for Paulsboro out there with a helper cleaning up some blood, and he's got a shaved head. I wonder if that's in honor of Marvin Hamilton, who's taping here. You see the intentional escape. Now 10-4. And if Hamilton were to get a takedown, John, that would make it a major decision. That would be an extra half a team point for Paulsboro, although they have already clinched the title.
Yeah, for those of you scoring at home, yeah. Motion. There's still that long debate, by the way, Vogue, that should there be team scoring in the districts? And I know you're a traditionalist, and you probably say yes, as Hamilton's in position to get another takedown. We'll see what he has to do. He's got to bring Becker in. Nothing yet.
Becker doing a great job of throwing an overhook in there to try and battle off that single leg. 40 seconds to go. Hamilton trying to...
It looks like he wants 5 points at one time.
Yeah. I think he ought to get the takedown first. And he's going to end up with all that work with maybe nothing, because they're very close to going out of bounds. They do go out of bounds. They're still standing. Hey. 30 seconds to go.
Kills time at this point as we have another bloody nose.
Yeah, I like team scoring in districts, John. I think it's the last team event of the season. From here on, it's all individual competition. And, of course, this is the first step toward the state championship. You have to place among the top 3 here to get to the next level, and place among the top 3 in the next level to go to the state championship round.
Yeah, but can't last week be the last big event of the high school wrestling season? Why does it have to be districts?
Last week you were against teams of your own size. Those were group championships. And here tonight you've got Group 1 schools, Group 2 schools, and Group 3 schools. And it shows the balance of a team to win a championship. Paulsboro with advancing 12 into today's rounds, and they're going to end up with 11 wrestlers going to Absegami.
Okay, well, we're ready to begin. 30 seconds left, 10-4, Preston Hamilton leads. Rob Becker.
11 wrestlers.
Oh, Becker has Hamilton in trouble.
Oh, Hamilton
breaks it off, and now he's going to get 2.
There's a 2-point takedown.
All that. Becker got the, Hamilton got the 2. It's now 12-4.
That's a major decision. If he holds him down for the last 19 seconds, he picks up a half a team point.
Okay, folks, what does that matter?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, I just said.
Pointing out that it would not be a decision. Becker certainly going to fight for that point. There he gets it with an escape. Makes it 12-5.
Darn, now he lost that major. And that's what we're going to end up. 12-5, so Preston Hamilton will win a district title. His first. Paulsboro's second. Paul Marine is 71st as a head coach.
And the 12th for the Hamilton family.
And I'm not just picking on wrestling. Every sport probably could have a rule or two that they have to change. 135, we're going to get ready for it. They're going to give out the awards now, though. At 125.
Because if you also got the major, it would have been a half a point, and it wouldn't be 229.5 points right now. It'd be 230.
Well, there you go. I hate those half a points.
Hate those half a points.
DJ Cam, a little anxious to get started.
This could be another interesting one here because Bowsman has lost to Kama, or lost to Becker, who just finished second in the district, and he lost 3 matches at the Beast of the East tournament to finish 6th. So Darren Busman is 22-5 with all quality losses. DJ Cam, on the other hand, the junior, is 24-1. His lone loss was to Chris Stith of Cox, Virginia, 7-1 in the Deep Creek Championships. And Stith is a pretty good wrestler.
And Busman, by the way, tough match in the semifinals, 1-0 over Jimmer Donapel of Deptford. Kama with a pin in 2 minutes and 32 seconds in his semifinal match over Drinkhouse of West Deptford.
Kama was the #1 seed, so he got to wrestle John Means of Glassboro and dispatched him in 32 seconds. And then, as you mentioned, pinned Scott Drinkhouse of West Deptford in 2:32. Busman, the #2 seed, had a first period fall over John Andrew of Clayton, and then he pinned he beat Jimmer Donapel 1-0. A great match. Donapel come back and win 9-0 over Drinkhouse to win 3rd place and advance to the regionals.
Now, I look at my program and I look under Clearview at this weight class. They have a wrestler 0 and 0. What is it? You don't have to wrestle, but you have to weigh in a certain amount of matches to qualify? How's that work?
No, in order to wrestle a weight class, you must meet a criteria to wrestle that weight class. But in that situation, it's a wrestler who hasn't wrestled varsity this year, and they had no one to enter that weight class, or they moved their weights around coming into this. And so the wrestler may have wrestled JV this year, has 0-0 varsity record, and of course he ends up as the #9 seed. We didn't mention in that previous weight class that Hamilton won over Becker that Mike Jimenez of Pittman advances the 3rd placer after beating Josh Moore of Kingsway 9-5.
And Kama in a little bit of trouble. Busman has a little trouble. And he's going to get the takedown.
And a 2-0 lead with 44 seconds left in the opening period. Kama, 74 wins coming into this match. He was first in the district last year. Gross, of course, was first in the district last year and got beat tonight. Kama was 3rd 2 years ago, as you see the Kingsway corner with Jesse Castro in the dark black shirt. Kama 4th in Region 8 last year. Darren Busman, 2nd in the districts last year, 2nd in the region last year. 72 career wins coming in this, according to the sheet that was handed in to us. I thought I heard 65 when they were introduced, but I'm not going to quibble over 5 or 7 matches. There's an escape by Kama. 30 seconds to go. 2-1, Busman in the lead. Darren lost to Jared Cooper of Paulsboro last year, 6-3 in the District 29 final.
We're going to end this first period 2-1, it looks like, with 4 seconds left.
Darren Buseman made the Region 8 finals last year before losing to Mike Hampton of Absegami 3-1. That was a wrestler who seemed to have Cooper's number last year, that Hampton of Absegami. 2-1 to score. Buseman takes down the second period. You see Paul Marina and Dean Duca wondering what they're going to see from Kama.
We might have some more blood here.
Well, evidently an elbow went back, caught him in the nose on that first move off the bottom.
Somebody must have just mentioned your name. A loud roar came in from the crowd.
Or they were saying Mondelli is on Comcast.
Yeah. That might be true. Anyway, Buseman might have some confidence. I mean, he found he could hang in there the first time they met.
Yes.
Kama. But, you know, he held his own.
Yeah, it doesn't give the score here. All it says, Kingsway gang contingent didn't do a very good job of filling out their sheets that we asked them to be a little bit specific on. They just say they lost to Kama. Oh, ho-hum. I know it was a decision that was close.
Yes, I remember it was close too.
Jesse Castro must have his mind in Norwich, Vermont, maybe.
We're going to start period number 2 again, 3-1.
Those are not important details, I guess, on the college level. Comcast listeners would probably like to know, but...
Well, Vogue's getting critical of the coaches today. I like it. I love the controversy. Kama is showing some aggression now to start the second period. He trails 3-1. Hasn't been in this situation too much. And more blood. Of course, next week will be in Absegami, and then the following week, CN8 will cover the state wrestling finals, the state wrestling championships. And pretty good chance to see 1 or 2 wrestlers there.
Oh, I think we will. I think Scott Guerin, for one, is a definite shot of being a state champion this year. I think South Jersey in itself, a lot of good talent's going to go down there.
I mentioned to Bob Shryock during the consolations, 119 with Booth, Manchio, and Alexander. What a loaded weight class that
boy.
is.
Whatever.
They're tying each other up with 105 left.
Now, Kama's been at his best this year when he has really been aggressive on his feet. He has quickness, has strength, but he's getting tied up here. He's not wrestling the type of match I've seen him wrestle. 53 seconds ago in the period. State championships ought to be interesting because it's in a new convention center, John, and it's not an athletic arena. People are going to be sitting behind some pillars on occasion. I've been there for conventions, and it's more suitable for conventions. But the other convention hall on the boardwalk is being renovated.
How many years, Vogue? Is that going to be a 1 or 2 year
I understand
thing?
2 years. It's a 2-year project. When they get done, it'll be state-of-the-art and have dressing rooms and shower facilities, which they didn't have in the past. So the freshmen wrestling here tonight will probably enjoy that. The ones that are juniors here tonight, this year and next year, if they make Atlantic City, will not be in the new convention hall. 15 seconds left. Second period. Darren Buseman, Kingsway has a 3-1 lead. Hey, you wonder, the last match we had wrestlers tying each other up, and there was a stall call and a stall warning, and here, just a difference in officials' way they look at the match. Orville Wilson, the official this match, does not call the stalling. Kama's work is cut out. He's on the bottom to start the third period. He's losing 3-1. Buseman, I'm sure, is going to want to give 1, not 2. Kama to a stand-up, fights for wrist control. Buseman drops right down to a single leg, does a good job of countering. Stalemate.
Obviously here, Buseman's got to I would just try and hold on, which I thought he was going to get him out, let him go there, but I would hold on to him as long as I could, especially with no stall warnings.
Yeah, you eat a lot of the clock up if you do that. There's a kind of a stalling move right there. Drop down to that single. You got to try and take him to the mat. Now he's been warned for stalling, so next time he drops down a leg like that, I think you'll see him let him go a lot faster. We can't get him back to the mat right away. There's the escape. 3-2. Now Kama has to be the aggressor. He's got a stalling warning against his opponents. He's got to be the aggressor. He's got to keep shooting and using his different moves. Try and get the takedown. There's no guarantee if he gets the takedown, he can hold him down. So we might be looking at overtime if there's a takedown escape. 1:05 remaining in the third period. DJ Kama, a returning district champion. This could be the third district champion of fall tonight, John. Got a couple already. Almost.
Kama in a little bit of trouble. He fights off.
Countering.
51 seconds left. Kama almost had it. Boozman almost got it back.
3-2. Kama's district title to defend. He's got 35 seconds to engineer a move to get the points necessary to win.
We might see a double stall. We're going to tie match. We're tied at 3. He didn't award the point votes, but it should be 3-3. Now we got it.
Double stall is 3-3. They've both been warned for stalling. 28 seconds to go. Kama's got to be the aggressor here. "15 seconds. Kama's got to take a shot. He can't be pushed out of bounds. If he stalls, he can lose.
Works both ways now, 14 seconds.
There goes Kama in, reaching.
Looks like we're going to have overtime. 5 seconds left. We're going to have overtime, votes.
Overtime.
3-3.
3-3 headed to overtime. On their feet. Start the overtime. Both have stalling warnings.
Well, we saw this in Phillipsburg, votes. Will we see it here?
I don't think so.
Oh, Boozman got behind Kama. Did he get the takedown? He got the takedown. He wins the district title for Kingsway.
Takedown, 18 seconds in overtime.
We'll take a break. We'll be back.
The number 1 seed, Tony Caruso.
140 pounds, and the crowd's pretty loud. Anytime there's a big upset, you hear the crowd get a little loud. And Darren Boozman of Kingsway with a big win over DJ Kama of Paulsboro. 140 pounds, Tony Caruso and Jason Grissom.
Yeah, they're still buzzing. The crowd, the Paulsboro crowd, kind of stunned. That's not the Kama they've been used to seeing lately, who's exploded out there on the mat and had confidence and had focus and fired his moves. He was very tentative, especially on that last takedown move. It was a half a shot, and he was countered and he was taken down. So the accolades to Darren Boozman. He did what he had to do. He got revenge. A lot of revenge going on tonight. Tony Caruso, a sophomore from Clearview High School, 20 wins and 2 losses this year. He lost to Nick Giordano of Vineland 5-1, and he lost to Floyd Taylor of Glassboro 6-0. Floyd Taylor, of course, came back this evening and wrestled in another weight class and qualified for the regions at 152 pounds. Jason Grissom of Kingsway, a senior, 21-6 this year. He lost 3 times in the Beast of the East tournament, gets a takedown to take a lead here. He lost to Bobbitt of Woodstown 5-4. He lost to Ring of Washington Township. He lost to McGinnis of West Deptford. Those are his quality losses. Sheet says he has 64 wins in his career.
That was a great 6-4 win over James Funk in overtime.
Just going to say, to get to this point in at 140 as we see the escape by Clearview. Caruso, the number 1 seed. He tech-falled Brian Bruno of Clayton in 4 minutes and 12 seconds. He pinned John Sicali of Deptford in 3:03. Jason Grissom, the number 2 seed, pinned Jason Sowers of Glassboro in 3:21, and he won 6-4 in overtime, a takedown with 15 seconds left in the overtime to beat James Funk of Paulsboro, the number 3 seed. Do you see another takedown engineered?
Great tournament for Kingsway.
They're having a super tournament. Funk came back in the consolation bout to win 5-0, which guaranteed Paulsboro 12 wrestlers going to the next level. 11 were in the finals this evening, and of course Funk fighting for 3rd place and getting the 3rd.
Grissom will defer. As we see the Kingsway Brain Trust. People walking by with pretzels. I'm getting hungry, Voj. I made that lunch run to Tony Luke's with John Cobb and Ed Hatton earlier today. They came back with the milkshake from Don and Bert's, but I'm getting those hunger pains.
We're in the second period at 140 pounds, and Jason Grissom of Kingsway holding the lead. Now 4-2 after the escape by Tony Caruso.
Of course, Comcast was at this dual meet when Clearview pretty handily beat Kingsway, but I think ever since that match, Kingsway started to snowball, started to come on.
Well, they have. The second half of the season, a lot of these younger wrestlers for Kingsway matured and really wrestled well.
And a big win in the playoffs to get to the finals against Sterling, and actually, hung in there against Sterling.
Yes, they did.
1:15 left, 4-2. Another excellent wrestler in his time, Mark White, just passing us. Mark was second in the state many years ago. Now he's one of West Deptford's finest. So if you, for some reason, happen to get stopped in that town, Voj, just do a little name dropping.
Oh, anybody know Mark White? I remember Mark White. What a great wrestler. 50 seconds to go in the second period. Grissom in on the takedown shot again. Hasn't gotten it yet, but he's very, very close. Very close. Got that near leg. He's got it tied up. He spins behind and gets the takedown. 3 takedowns for Grissom. Excellent wrestling by the Kingsway wrestlers. They also advanced 12 into today's semifinals, came out of it with 6 men in the finals, and they're doing a great job.
Matter of fact, at 119, Carmen Leone avenged an earlier defeat in the dual meet, beating Gus Caruso of Clearview in the consolations. So a lot of matchups.
Yes.
We're going to end period number 2. Grissom has a 6-2 lead.
And he's going to start the third period probably on the bottom.
They're interesting shirts I want to mention. I guess they were selling at Phillipsburg, the Uncivil War.
Yes.
Interesting shirt there.
Yeah, this is the first of 5 Kingsway wrestlers in the finals, John. Second, rather.
You just saw Boozman.
Saw Boozman win, and Grissom now is the second, and then we're going to see wrestlers at 45, 60, 71, and 89. We're going to see Ryan Loeb. As you see the escape. We're going to see Sly Van Morter. We're going to see Micah Roberts. And we're going to see Brian Kugel. So more to come from Kingsway that's already had a pretty good consolation round and a champion already, and leading in this one 7-2. What do you think of that flashy logo in the back of the uniforms, John?
Well, you know, I think the letters are falling off the front, but Kingsway, without a doubt, best uniforms. Bar none. Bar none.
They're flashy.
No, it's called. They're just. You know, I'm going to be called a homer, so I'm not going to get. But they do have the best uniforms.
Well, they have that dragon ready to roar there. They came into style last year as we're under a minute to go in this third period, and Kingsway, of course, outstanding year a year ago, and more to come in the future. They have a good junior program going, John.
A great 7th and 8th grade program. And so in the next year, 2 years, 3 years, they'll be back up to where they were the last couple years.
Well, they had a couple of great seasons with back-to-back state championships.
Of course, 2 years ago, they finished number 2 in South Jersey, dethroned Paulsboro's long run of district championships.
Got a stalemate with 18 seconds to go. And Jason Grissom is on the verge of becoming Kingsway's second district champion tonight. He's got a 7-2 lead. And unless something radical happens, he's going to win. Under 10 seconds.
And the Kingsway crowd stands. 7-2 win for Jason Grissom. Another win for Kingsway.
District 29 champion, the 7-2 victory.
Great job by Jason Grissom, whose uncle, by the way, used to be the head coach at Pennsville High School, and he jumps into the arms of his father, who's an assistant at Kingsway.
In third place, from Bedford High School.
Okay, we're going to have the awards. At 1:35.
The runner-up from Paulsboro High School, DJ Cava.
Before we get ready for 1:45, which will be Maurice Tunstall of West Deptford and Ryan Logue of Kingsway.
Of course, Kevin Logue, who wrestled here for Kingsway last year, is in college at Roger Williams University
Maurice Tunstall
up in the New England States.
The number 2 seed,
Ryan Logue,
Kingsway.
the number 2 seed, 19-8. Of course, the information sheet given to us by the coach says he's 20-8.
Here we go, Tunstall. Very aggressive, very quick.
Just checking the program. Program had him entered as 17-8, and he had 2 wins. That's 19-8. Coach says he's 20-8. Give or take a loss.
When you get 99, that one win means a lot.
Yeah.
West Deptford has a couple really talented wrestlers at 45 and 52. We're going to see in the next couple of weight classes. Tunstall and Brett Holmes.
Tunstall is, well, let's review Logue first. He's 19-8 or 20-8. He's lost to Goodrum twice. He lost to Tunstall already. He lost to Schmidt. He lost to Romano. Those are his 5 losses.
He's in trouble
Boy.
already.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Big takedown and back points for Logue to take a 5-0 lead. Again, the revenge factor. He had lost to Tunstall earlier this year. Tunstall, 19-3 entering this final. Lost to Whitby of Lacey Township. He lost to David Hall of Deptford in overtime. Those are the only 2 losses listed. So, again, the coach put down 2 of the 3 losses. Reaching the finals, Tunstall, the number 1 seed. He pinned Tim DeSemene of Clayton. He beat Aaron Stockdale of Gloucester 8-2. Ryan Logue advanced with a 12-6 win over Dan Larson of Pittman. And he got a takedown at the buzzer to beat David Hall of Deptford 3-2. David Hall come back and beat Stockdale 7-4 to get 3rd place and advance to the regionals.
Well, Maurice just a sophomore, and that may have been a sophomore mistake.
Yes, sir.
Then again, a savvy move by the veteran.
Escape by Tunstall.
Injury time. 12 seconds left in the first period. And we talked about this all season, how we see less and less injury time due to the new rules.
Well, you can only have 2 injury timeouts for a total of 1.5 minutes. So you have to use it judiciously, whereas before they used it as a kind of a rest period. Yeah, you have to be very, very sure. And when you use your second timeout, when the action starts back up, your opponent has the choice of what he wants to do.
And we see Brian Farnham, the black shirt, he's the head coach. Former outstanding wrestler at Haddon Township. Joe Hollywood. Not Joe Hollywood, long team. Jesse Castro.
Yeah.
Kingsway. I see that just get an interesting point. Castro with that coaching background, his teams are geared to peak at the end of the year.
That's for sure. I mean, he did spend a lot of years coaching on the college level, so having a high school team is a different step for him. Kind of a ready-made team when he came to Kingsway, but now this year he faced a lot of rebuilding, and he's done a great job with it. But no doubt the Kingsway wrestlers are in pretty good shape.
There we see Farnham. You had a chance to see him. He had 4 outstanding years at Haddon Township.
Yes, he did. We see the intentional escape given to West Deptford.
Farnham now living in West Deptford. I have a chance to see him at my favorite eatery, Joe's Pizza. Doing a lot of name dropping today, Vogue.
I noticed that.
You never know when there's going to be a free meal around.
Yeah, Don and Bert's
did I forget to mention Sherwood Deli?
milkshakes earlier, and the deli and the eatery. What's going on here?
Yeah, we got to get these guys as sponsors, though, huh?
Yeah, you got to talk to them, John.
Courier Post.
Well, the Courier Post put money out for much.
Well, they got to handle your salary. I don't think there's not much money left after that.
They're sponsoring a basketball tournament in Gloucester County this year. Kind of puzzles me.
Well, only because Gloucester County is more of a wrestling county than a basketball county, so somebody's not doing their job over there, Vogue.
I know.
Let's talk to the assistant sports editor. What do we got? Nothing. And how's that for great grammar? What do we got?
Nothing. Brian Farnham, of course, 106, 16-1 in his career at Haddon Township. 2 times a District 28 champ, 2 times a Region 7 champ. Went to the University of Virginia where he compiled a 51-29 record. Got a host of assistants. Greg Lay, who went to Gateway, Ralph Ross Jr., who went to Washington Township, and John McBride, all sharing time in the corner.
Hello?
Brian Farnham, of course, he had brother Kevin Farnham. Just got done wrestling in college last year.
Takedown. Loeb with 2 with 39 seconds left. It gives him a 7-2 lead in period number 2.
Seven to 2.
Nice little run for Kingsway here.
Very good run.
They'll ride in the middleweights. We'll see Paulsboro. They're really heavy in the heavier weights. I mean, strong, I should say, as in heavy.
Although there's going to be some great matchups up there, John. Nothing is open and shut up there, I would say, except Guerin and
Bennett, maybe.
Bennett. Yeah. I think Tom Curl is having a great year. But Warren Sharper is going to have his hands full of that Matt Friel from Fairview, I think.
Yeah, we had a chance. Friel in the dual meet wrestled a Curl.
Yeah, he moved up.
Right. Logue in control after 2 periods. 7-2.
Paulsboro with 2 champions so far. Kingsway with 2 champions. And Kingsway well on their way to a 3rd one here. Fairview with 1. West Deptford with 1. Gateway with 1. We talked about in the opening, Paulsboro may have clinched the team championship going into this round, but there's plenty of talent in District 29, and no one is backing off. Individual medals mean as much as the team trophy.
Hey, Logue's got to get out on the bottom. Tunstall has to work for some back points. And of course, this stage of the match, he's obviously going to work for some back points.
Well, he has to. He's losing 7-2. He's got to put him on his back, and Logan's not going to go for that. He's going to say, wait a minute now, I'm leading 7-2. I've got to put the pressure on here and get an escape or a reversal. I think I'll take the reversal.
Now 9-2.
Great job by Logue. Brother Kevin was wrestling on the college level this year up at Roger Williams University, up in Rhode Island, I guess it is, John?
I have to check my college atlas, folks. It's in Rhode Island. Stan Ritter is like Mr. Geography. He's our director tonight. Fred Booker is Mr. Geography.
All right.
Obviously not Mr. English, because we know about his English teacher in high school.
Oh, he had a good one.
Yep. Another takedown for Logue. It's 11-3 votes. That's a major decision at this point.
That means an extra half a team point. 30 seconds to go. Kevin Logue completely in control. Gets a sweet taste of revenge. Twice losing to Toomey Goodrum of Absegami, who was a state runner-up the last 2 years. See the escape by West Deptford. Makes it 11-4 and takes away the major.
Oh, there you go.
He lost to David Hall, and he avenged that in the semifinals with a 3-2 win with a takedown to buzzer. You see him get another takedown.
It's 13-4, and it's going to end that way.
A major decision.
3 straight for the Dragons.
And they are roaring.
District 29 champion at 145.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll come back, 152, in just a moment. West Deptford and Deptford in the 152-pound matchup. Brett Holmes, the #1 seed. He is 20-4, just a sophomore. Chris Moore from Deptford, 23-2.
Brett Holmes with 4 losses. He lost to Wengert of Delsey, 3-2. He lost to McGowan of Collingswood. He lost to Barikian of Sterling. And, of course, the 4th loss is not listed on the sheet, so we don't know who that was to. Chris Miller of Deptford lost twice to Floyd Taylor of Glassboro, 9-5, and he lost to Brett Holmes, 9-3. So Chris Miller has lost to his opponent this evening.
And obviously that's why Holmes is the #1 seed.
That's it. Holmes got here as the #1 seed by pinning Nick Valentino of Gateway in 2 minutes. Brett Holmes beat Tim Pence of Kingsway, who was a district runner-up last year, 6-4. Chris Miller, the #3 seed. Decision Mike Marcheski of Clearview, 11-3, and he pinned Floyd Taylor of Glassboro in 3:41. Floyd Taylor come back to beat Tim Pence of Kingsway 4-3. So Pence, the district runner-up last year, who went to regions, did not qualify this year.
Talked about Pence. He last year, remember, wrestled 112. And he went up to 152. You don't see that too often, do you?
Not very often. Not since the days when Mike Lombardo, I think, wrestled 158 one year and won the state championship at 188 the next. No score, 40 seconds to go in the opening period.
Turn the corner! Turn the corner!
Miller in on the leg of Holmes. Holmes did a great job. He has Miller in trouble now.
Oh, brother, look at this. I'm almost being taken down, the countering and almost getting a takedown. Still no control. We're still 0-0 with 15 seconds to go in the period. Out of bounds they're going to go. And they're still standing.
West Deptford has a couple good wrestlers to build upon. They get some freshmen coming in. They can, their program can get back to where it was.
Well, they have a prideful program with a strong pass. They'll be back up. No score after 1.
Holmes will defer. Miller to the bottom to start the second period. Joe Hollywood.
Joe Hollywood, Mike McConville, and there's Mike.
Mike was assistant coach at Kingsway, I believe.
A couple years ago with Guy Davidson. Of course, Joe Hollywood, a first, second, and a third in the state when he was a schoolboy at Deptford High School. Now back coaching his alma mater. Reviewing real quick, in District 29, 103 pounds, P.J. Ryan of Gateway stuns number 1 seed Ryan O'Hara Paulsboro 5-3 to reverse a dual meet loss. Matt Hunkler of Paulsboro wins his 3rd consecutive district championship 5-1 over Mark Cartella of Clearview. Adam Reed duplicates a dual meet win over Chris Costenbader of Paulsboro. Adam Reed of West Deptford a winner 3-2. Billy Gibbs of Clearview repeats a dual meet win over Greg Croce of Paulsboro. Gibbs the winner 4-1. Preston Hamilton duplicates a dual meet win over Clearview's Robert Becker. Preston winning 12-5 for his 1st district championship. DJ Cam is stunned by Darren Buseman 5-3 in overtime. That reverses a dual meet loss by Buseman. At 140, Jason Grissom beats Tony Caruso of Clearview. Grissom of Kingsway 7-2 winner. Ryan Logue reverses a dual meet loss to Maurice Tunstall of West Deptford. Ryan Logue of Kingsway to winner 13-4. That brings us right up to 152 pounds.
16 seconds into the second period here. Brett Holmes and Chris Miller 0-0.
Now, many matches tonight, John, similar to the college matches usually seen in the NCAA tournament. Oh my, just missed putting him on his back. Some wrestlers closely matched and almost a collegiate style finals in some cases.
Well, Miller very active on the bottom, doing his best to get out. Holmes has got to do more than just trying to bring him back down to the mat.
.115 to go in the period as they go out of bounds. Holmes riding Miller.
There's Ralph Ross Jr. Farnham in the background.
In the corner with Brian Farnham, the head coach. Ralph Ross Jr., of course, the head coach at Williamstown the last couple of years. Former wrestler at Washington Township. Of course, his father, the longtime head coach at Highland High School. Roy Fenimore, the official on the mat.
Looks like Holmes is going to let him go here.
Well, he gives him the 1 point. With the intentional escape.
You think that was because he didn't think he could hold him down, or he's worried about being called for a stall?
Well, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they were thinking about stalling or rather get him on his feet where they may feel he's a stronger wrestler. But when you're on top and it's 0-0, you know, you can always try and ride him and look to try and turn the man. And if you feel you're losing him, you give him the 1, not 2.
Sure, because you're always going to start the bottom next period. Yeah.
So, you know, he feels, I guess, he gives him the 1 point. If he doesn't get the takedown before the period's over, he can get off the bottom in the 3rd period.
Well, these two wrestlers evenly matched so far.
And when Holmes beat Miller in a dual meet, it was 9-3. So he didn't just edge him; he beat him 9-3. So I guess the West Deptford coaching staff feels that on the feet is the place to be.
Well, Miller in on the leg. We have a stall. It looks like it's against West Deptford. Or not.
Green's got a warning for stalling.
Let the Mia Hayward.
I didn't look quick enough, John. You
Not sure who we were looking at.
On the monitor. Now you got Holmes going in, but a little bit too late. So Holmes of West Deptford has a stall warning. And Miller of Deptford has a 1-0 lead. We go to the 3rd period. Holmes of West Deptford is going to be down.
We'll see Miller's strategy here.
Miller ride him, or is he going to let him go and work from his feet?
I can almost guarantee you he will not ride him.
Bring him down.
1:56 left in the period. 1-0 with Miller leading. They're in tight on him, John. He forces him over here.
Good job by
Not
Holmes.
an easy thing to do. Holmes flip back down pretty quickly. In tilt position, but they're going to run out of room, I believe. Miller doing an admirable job on top, John.
Looks pretty good there. You got blood on the eye. No, we don't have blood on the eye.
This is Deptford's only finalist, John, so if Deptford's to walk out of here with a district champion, this is it. Got to get him to the mat, or he could be called for stalling. He's going to give up an escape there. Didn't get the trip fast enough.
1-1.
West Deptford the escape with 1:24 to go. And we are deadlocked. Three champions in a row for Kingsway, John. Great job by the Dragons.
And this one again goes down to the wire. Actually, the way this is going, could go down to one of those criteria decisions or top bottom.
Yeah, that tiebreaker in overtime.
Right.
They go through a 2-minute overtime period with no takedown. They flip the disc. Whoever wins the toss gets the call, top or bottom, and we go from there.
Remember the days when the official made the call?
Oh yeah.
What's your that was.
I'm glad the overtime procedure has changed. Although that flip of the coin, that flip of the disc is well, that can be hairy sometimes too.
Sure.
49 seconds to go. Luck of the draw, luck of the flip. Got a warning for stalling. Backing off on West Deptford.
So Miller up 2-1. Now Holmes needs to get a takedown, and he looks like he might have it. Not yet. Not
That's a
yet.
takedown.
He's got it now. 3-2, big takedown. 26 seconds left.
That makes it 3-2, and he got that. Holmes got that with about 29 seconds to go.
Now another timeout. Injury. Now we'll see if Holmes will try and ride him out. You would think he'd have to try here, but
Well, 26 seconds to go. I wouldn't cut him loose. You only have 26 seconds. Come in here with a...
then again, he has a stall warning against him, but you try and hold him down, but it's got to be working for some back points at the same time.
Yeah, you come in here with 20 wins. You ought to be able to hold a man down for 26 seconds. And if he doesn't and there's an escape, we have overtime. See what happens here. Nowhere to his feet.
That chews up
They
5
go.
seconds. Top 2 seeds in the weight class, Brad Holmes and Chris
He
Taylor.
could be called for stalling there.
Yeah.
I guess he just gets him to a mat, which he did. The right thing to do.
Six seconds. Holmes has to hang on, and he's going to do it. He'll win the District 29 title. We'll take a break. We'll be back. Well, this year's most outstanding or exciting wrestler to watch is Scott Guerin of Paulsboro. He comes in unbeaten, 27-0. Sly Van Mortar, 14-9 for Kingsway. Voj, this won't take long, so you're not going to have a chance to go through too many accomplishments.
Well, they've wrestled before. Guerin beat him before. Guerin gets the takedown here. Guerin 27-0 this year with 19 falls, 3 tech falls, 3 forfeit wins, 2 regular decisions, 108 wins, 5 losses in his career. Of course, the first 3 years at Oakcrest High School, where he was a 3-time district champion, a 2-time Region 8 champion, and 3rd in the state last year. Sly Van Mortar, a sophomore. Among his 9 losses this year were to Guerin and to Childs of Pennsville. Guerin's just been a workaholic this year, John. He's one of the most impressive wrestlers I've seen.
But I'll tell you what, Van Mortar's taking the right approach. He's just going to go right at him. Nothing to lose.
There's nothing to lose. You have to approach it that way. I mean, you're wrestling a wrestler who was 3rd in the state last year. and who has really dominated the competition. You gotta give 2 there.
4-1.
I honestly think, and I said this before, John, but if Scott Guerin had been in the Colonial Conference for the last 2 years, I think he would have made All-Colonial this year. I think the coaches only saw him the one time around, and it's a shame because he was a very, very good football player. Tenacious athlete on the mat. And he's got such great mat sense. Great hips, great speed, great aggressiveness. He's got a variety of pin combinations. You see a spladle attempt coming here. He gets his hip out. Look at this. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. 20 seconds to go in the period. He's got a 3-point near fall. Don't think he can pin him from there because the head's between the body. I don't think he gets his hips out far enough, but he might as well hold on and get the period.
That's what he's done. He's just looking right up at the clock.
Yeah.
So he'll probably have a 7-1 lead.
Just an amazing individual. And a very good student on top of it. He'd like to go to Penn State University and wrestle in college. And I'll tell you, the colleges are starting to notice him, and they're looking. Guerin's choice, he defers. Van Morter says, well, I'll try to get on my feet. He's only taken me down twice so far. But he might slam me, and I'll win by illegal slam.
Well, one of the key wrestlers in region, folks, is from Washington Township, Brian Brittingham, who has 1 loss.
Well,
and John Jones from Shalleck, undefeated.
Oh yeah, there'll be competition there. I mean, it doesn't get any easier from here. There's no minnows swimming upstream from here. There's nothing but sharks laying ahead, so you can't take anybody lightly.
As a matter of fact, one of his wins earlier in the year against Brick Memorial in the Caldwell tournament went to overtime. Was it
Yes. Yeah, well, that's the first weekend. You see another takedown. That's the first weekend. I don't think he was in match shape yet. I think he was still in football shape. No excuses. But he wrestled Nick Catone from Brick Memorial, who was an outstanding wrestler. Fact is, Guerin had to come from behind to tie it up to force the overtime, and he beat him on a takedown in overtime. He went to the finals of the Deep Creek tournament, wrestled a wrestler from Great Bridge, Virginia, who was second in the state last year, and he had a 6-0 lead on him when he pinned him in the 3rd period and got the Outstanding Wrestler Award for his tournament.
Right now he's up 9-1 with 1:06 left in the 2nd period. And I'm not sure if he's going to let him go or.
Well, he does some pretty bizarre pin moves out there. He's got a lot of mat savvy. Now he's going around to a near side cradle. Then locked the hand, so he didn't get the cradle attempt. Here he goes with his cradle attempt again, it looks like. He just has an awful lot of moves out there, John. A lot of moves.
Gonna make sure he keeps his back off the mat, though.
Yep.
He got him.
The pin. Amazing. 3 minutes, 28 seconds. And the people watching this just may have seen a state champion in action because he has it all. Amazing. His 20th pin of the year, John.
At 152 pounds.
We have the awards at 152 as we get ready for 171.
Now, Scott Guerin pinned his way through the tournament. He pinned Nolan Collings of Glassboro in 107. He pinned Joe Valeri of Gateway in 210. He pinned Sly Van Morter in 328. Van Morter, number 3 seed, had an overtime 8-6 win over Bob Bem of Deptford. Then he pinned Dan Alton of Pittman in 520 before Valeri came back and took 3rd. But, you know, will that be enough to win the Outstanding Wrestler Award? Maybe not, because there's been some upsets tonight of returning champions who were dethroned.
I don't think they were strong enough to beat Guerin. I think if somebody's going to beat him, it could be Mike Roberts right here of Kingsway. He's the 5th seed. He beat the number 1 seed, pinned the number 1 seed, Dustin Burke of Clayton. And again, of course, he's going up against Mike Mendenhall of Paulsboro. Mendenhall, 18-9, a freshman. Roberts, a sophomore, I believe, is 13-12.
13-12, a football player by trade, from what I understand. Very very good football player. In the dual meet, Mendenhall happened to catch him and pin him. Among the 12 losses, they're not all outlined on the sheet that the coach turned in, but Roberts has had a great tournament, John.
And he's very strong. That's
very,
the key
very
to him.
strong.
Very strong. As far as Mendenhall, I must say, graduated with Mike's mother.
There you go.
She asked me to say that. St. James back in, I'm not going to say the year, I think it was mid-80s.
Mendenhall tenacious in there for the takedown attempt.
Nothing yet, though.
Not a thing. Roberts, the number 5 seed, knocked off Chucky Carroll of Clearview with a 5:46 fall. Then he pinned Dustin Burke of Clayton, the number 1 seed, as you see the takedown. Mendenhall, the number 2 seed, pinned Ed Green of West Deptford. Then he beat Alex Aquino of Deptford 6-5 in a tight one. Dustin Burke back and pinned Aquino to earn the trip to Absegami in the regions. 2-0, Mendenhall. Mendenhall 18-9, John, this year. Lost to a wrestler from Randolph in overtime. He lost to a wrestler from Brick Memorial by fall. He lost once in Virginia, where he battled back to finish third. He lost to Franco Cataliotti by fall from Absegami. Lost to John Edis of Sterling. Lost to Jared Fry of Phillipsburg, where one of the matches where he didn't give up extra points and played a big role in Paulsboro winning that match. Lost to Dustin Burke of Clayton in the groups, 12-4. As you see, Roberts work himself free for an escape.
And a takedown with no time on the clock. Got it at the end. We'll discuss it. Takedown 3-2, Roberts.
Well, their Hunter wasn't positive, so he went and asked Joe Henry, the assistant. Henry agreed with his call. You got the call.
Paul Marina didn't like it.
Yep.
It'll stand 3-2.
So the Kingsway wrestler gets the escape to make it 2-1. He spins behind for a takedown at the buzzer.
Freestyle start.
Makes it 3-2, and he puts him on his feet. So we're 3-3. Another loss Mendenhall had was against Boundbrook in the state championship final. So those are his losses.
Roberts trying to spin around for a takedown. Mendenhall fights that off.
Just another example of Kingsway wrestling so well in this district, especially in the championship final round. They already have 3 champions.
And this is a kid who came in with a record of under 500, 11-12, and has Mendenhall a little bit of trouble.
Peaking at the right time, as they say. Again, maybe learned a lot from the dual meet. You know, some of those revenges tonight are bouncing back from dual meet losses. And it all shoots from pretty far out. And it all drops down to the ankles. In good position here. He's got to keep his body inside. There's the takedown.
Big takedown with 46 seconds left. 5-3, second period. Mike Mendenhall from Paulsboro leading Mike Roberts of Kingsway.
And I think you'll see an attempt to keep him more to the mat here. For a freshman, Mendenhall has really performed well this year, John.
And they've had him bouncing around between 60 and 71.
Well, he's a 60-pounder. If it wasn't for Scott Guerin this year, he'd probably be the 60-pounder on the team. He's a tenacious athlete. He's going to be good in football, good in wrestling. 30 seconds to go in the period. Can't be content to ride. He's got to break him off his base. 1 point. Illegal hold. It looks like Roberts is just pulling at one finger.
6-3 now. I think I'm actually going through puberty on this during this match here, Rhodes. It's been so long.
27 seconds remaining in the second period. Mendenhall pulls his man to the mat as he tried to switch.
Gotta stay active. Roberts trying to get out. Looks like he will. Mendenhall still holding on. Nothing yet.
There's the escape. 13 seconds to go. Roberts tenaciously right into him again. Mendenhall's got to keep that overhook in there. No takedown because time was out. And that time, referee Joe Henry was looking right up at the clock, right over the shoulder of the wrestlers coming down. So he had a clear view of exactly when it hit zero.
And I'll tell you what, Roberts wrestles till the whistle.
Yes, he does.
4 points, or 3 points, I guess, in the last 4 seconds in the first period. Almost had a takedown here. That would have been a big takedown.
Oh, big. It would have tied it right up.
And with him on the bottom.
Figures to come off the bottom in this period. Mendenhall couldn't hold him down the entire last period.
Oh, Mendenhall has him in trouble now, Coach.
Oh,
no back
brother.
going check.
He's got to count. He's got to count. He's got to count.
He's got
He's pushing him over. There's the pin. 4 minutes, 14 seconds. Mike Mendenhall, a winner by fall and a district champion as a freshman. Strong performance.
We talked about this run of Paulsboro starting at 160 pounds, and so far they're 2 for 2 as we have the awards for 160 pounds. As we get ready for 189, Troy Bennett going for his 3rd straight district title, Voge.
Yeah, let me go through this one quick because this could be a quick one as opposed to what we talked about with Scott Guerin. Troy Bennett just been a marvelous athlete at Paulsboro. He's got 83 wins going into this match, 10 losses. His only loss this year was to David Walker of Great Bridge, Virginia, 4-2 in the Deep Creek Finals, where he chased him. No falling calls down there. And he took a shot that was countered, and he lost 4-2. Brian Kugel of Kingsway wrestled mostly at 160 and 171 pounds. Earlier this year, he's got a pedestrian 7-6 record where Bennett comes in with consecutive district championships as a freshman and sophomore. Region champion last year, 5th in the state.
We get a nice look at the Dragon. Here we go, 189.
Kugel was the number 6 seed. He upset Mike Shomo of Gateway, number 3 seed, 2-1. And then Kugel beat Mike Cockrell of Clearview 8-3. Bennett pinned Chris Hoskins of Deptford in 150, and he pinned Matt Lees of Pittman in 46 seconds. Cockrell come back, of course, to take 3rd over Lees, 10-4, and advance to the regionals.
When you look further upstate at 189, I got Damian Hahn of Lakewood, who lost, I believe, in the state finals as a freshman and has won his sophomore and junior years. He's already, I think, set to go to University of Minnesota.
Minnesota, signed, sealed, delivered.
And many people consider him the best wrestler in New Jersey pound for pound. And I think a lot of people have him ranked as the 2nd best 89-pounder in the country, as we see a stall warning already on Kingsway.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if he isn't the top-ranked wrestler at his weight class in the country, he's got to be 2nd because he is outstanding. People go to Atlantic City, we'll see a treat. There's a takedown by Bennett. And a 2-0 lead. And he smells blood. Oh, brother. Oh, my.
Back point.
Oh, brother. 59 seconds. Troy Bennett, the champion.
Paulsboro starting out the Pin Factory. We'll take a break. Back with 215 and the heavyweight. Back at Gloucester County College, home of the Gloucester County College wrestling team, which won a national championship, I believe. We have 215-pound matchup here. Matt Friel, a sophomore from Clearview. Warren Sharper, a senior from Paulsboro.
Yeah, Warren Sharper, 4th in the district last year, but having a pretty good year this year. He was 1st in the district last year. Friel was 4th. Sharper 1st last year, 3rd the year before. I'm wrong on that too. He was 1st last year here, 3rd in the region last year. 58-24 in his career, 22-5 this year, John. And he lost to Ryan Adams of Rock Hill, South Carolina in the Deep Creek Finals. 2nd place South Carolina place winner. Joe Weiss of Mainland, who was undefeated, 4-3. Anthony Levicki of Haddon Township, 2-1 in overtime. Seth Levy of Collingswood, 8-7. And Tom Pfister of Point Pleasant Beach, 5-4. So other than the loss in the Deep Creek tournament, his other 4 losses were by 1 point. Matt Friel, 4th in this district last year. A sophomore, 18-4 this year. He lost to Joe Weiss of Mainland, 8-6. He lost to Andrew Palillo, who Sharper beat, 15-4. He lost to Tom Curl in that dual meet, 4-0. And he lost to Bill Palmisano of Brick Memorial, 7-6. So 2 pretty good wrestlers here, squaring off.
Was I right on that Gloucester County College thing?
Yes, you were. They were national champions for the 2nd year in a row. There's a football-type tackle, takedown for Warren Sharper. And I don't know, John. I think I'd great Bridget here. I'd cut him, son, and just keep trying for the takedowns. I think Sharper's much stronger on his feet. I think he has a hard time riding wrestlers. If he takes them down into their backs, it could be curtains. He's very strong when he gets a wrestler turned to his back. Obviously very intense for this match.
I think he's intense for every match. I want to mention Gloucester County College, since they're the host site, even though Paulsborough's hosting the tournament. They're ranked #1 in junior college in basketball, finished #1 in wrestling, and their baseball team preseason is ranked #2 in the country. An outstanding sports program.
Without a doubt. Of course, their wrestling team won the Division III national championship. They would have finished about 10th overall were there no splits between Division I and Division III. But they have no dormitories. They give no scholarships, so they're Division III. But it's an accomplishment. It's a great accomplishment. I think Michael Lamb has been a definite asset to Coach Chuck Williamson, who's the founder of the program here. They rely very heavily on county wrestlers and South Jersey wrestlers. Now they're starting to get them from out state. They had wrestlers from Virginia the last couple of years here. They had John Garrix, who was a national champ last year and is probably going to redshirt this year. They had Charles Johnson of Phillipsburg on the squad this year. So their name has gotten around, as you see an escape by Friel.
10 seconds left. We'll see if they play it safe here, both wrestlers. They're circling.
And the Roadrunners have certainly put themselves on the map. National champs, 3 out of the last 4 years, 2-time in a row. Outstanding job. Heading into the second period.
We've said this a lot. John Marinelli, Bill Chiaffi.
Clearview's choice takes the bottom. Wait, what 2 gentlemen coaches, John Marinelli and Bill Chiaffi. Chiaffi, of course, a great wrestler at Glasper High School, and John Marinelli wrestled for Gene Barber down at Absegami. 2-2 the score after the intentional escape. John Marinelli in his 11th year, I think we said earlier, at Clearview. Team was 18-2 this year. As you see Sharper driving hard for a single.
Shows you how strong Friel is, though. He fought that one off.
Fought it off. There you see the pummeling of the head.
Right.
Force the head down, spin behind, use the speed, use the strength. That's what's paid off for Sharper this year. That's why I say, maybe the Great Bridge style, cut him, son, and take him down.
And that's the thing about Sharper, I've noticed. Great speed for a big man.
Oh, he's got outstanding speed.
Little big man.
A little big, powerful man. I mean, he was one of the probably the fastest guy in the Paulsboro football team this year, starting fullback and linebacker. You see the escape, makes it 4-3. Less than a minute to go. You see, again,
got caught a little bit.
Friel counters it, but did not have control on the mat, so there's no takedown yet. Sharper fights him off, and they're still standing.
Looks like Sharper went for 5 before he could get 2.
That's exactly right. Here's Paul Marina standing up saying, yo. Head control, snap down, spin behind, but don't try to pin him before you got him. That was an excellent sequence for young wrestlers to watch. Do it by the numbers. 1, you take him down. 2, you break him down. 3, you try and pin him. Isn't that the way it goes?
I go out there. I actually have 4 years eligibility left. Never lost.
There you go. I wouldn't give it a try too soon, John. You get a little bit too old for that. 15 seconds to go in the second period. Now we're becoming very defensive with each other. Sharper's got to be careful not to go backwards too much. There's a good drive. Good takedown.
Now to his back.
7 seconds left. Clock is running. Can he get him tight? He's got him close. Oh, brother. There's the 1 second. buzzer. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, my. Unbelievable.
Team by Paul, Warren Sharp for Paulsboro.
Unbelievable, John.
4 pins in a row for Paulsboro. Can't call them the six-pack unless there were 6 in a row. 6 points. We'll call it six-pack.
That's six champions with Tommy Curl to go. Unbelievable. By my calculations, and of course I don't know if I've lost any points here or not, but that gives Paulsboro 253.5 points. Kingsway a distant second, 183.5 with 3 champions. And Clearview with 130 points in 3rd place. West Ephrata with 106 in 4th. That's the way I have it right now. Clearview with 1 champion. West Ephrata with 2 champions. Kingsway with 3 champions. And Paulsboro with 6 champions at this point.
Of course, we'll have the final numbers at the end, and we'll have find out who the outstanding wrestler is. Have some interviews. Right now, Tom Curl from Paulsboro, the freshman heavyweight, 25-2. Mike Beato, a sophomore, I believe, right? Pittman?
Yes.
Was 19-5.
Beato 19-5. He lost to Friel, who we just saw get pinned by Warren Sharper. He lost to Sampson of Williamstown. Lost to Pugh of Pensgrove, Cook of Holy Spirit, and Tyler of Delsey. Well, there's a common opponent because Tommy Curl, one of his 2 losses, and the only loss in South Jersey was to Tyler of Delsey, 8-4 in a dual meet.
Wayne Michelle didn't like that call right there. 2-point takedown for Curl. Looks like Jack Hillis, assistant from Woodbury.
Yep. Steve Kopensky of Phillipsburg also beat Tom Curl in the infamous Paulsboro-Phillipsburg match in the pit, 11-6, when Curl went out there with instructions, if you only lose by a decision, son, we win the match.
It's probably the sweetest loss he ever had or will ever have.
The sweetest loss. When his hand wasn't raised, it was a great thrill because his team had won. Also an excellent student, John. Tommy Curl, a starter on a football team on the offensive and defensive lines. All A's and 1B in the first semester, all A's and 1B in the second semester. Like Garrett, he can almost write his ticket in the future. Tireless worker. Earlier in the year, John, I thought he was using a little bit too much of double leg type takedowns. He was getting caught with the big guys sprawling on his back, but his agility has really come to the fore down the stretch. And it'll be interesting to see how he handles the regional competition. Well, he reached the final here with a bye and a 52-second pin over Matt Ballesteri, who took him the distance in a 1-0 win in the West Ephrata dual meet. Look at that. He's got him over. He's got him over. He's got 20 seconds. 20 seconds to get the fall. Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Oh, what a way to finish. 1 minute and 42 seconds. Paulsboro runs the table at the end.
5 straight pins, Coach.
A huge finish from Paulsboro.
We're going to take a break, come back, have the final numbers, maybe some interviews. Stay with us. Back at Gloucester County College, where Paulsboro wins another district title, but we're with Darren Buseman of Kingsway Regional High School, the outstanding wrestler. A great tournament. You mentioned earlier, lost to DJ Kama. Talk about that match.
I've been working for it all year. That's all I was focusing on was tonight. It feels really good. Exactly how I thought it'd be in my head. Everything worked out perfect.
Your thought late in the third period, you're winning. He ties it up. Was it a stall call or something? I think that tied that match going into overtime. What was your thoughts?
Well, I was really frustrated with the call, but coach just told me to focus. I got in there and I knew I was ready and shape for it. So just wanted to push and push and push.
I noticed early in the year you had a lot of close losses in that Beast of the East, that big tournament you're on. But when you got into South Jersey, you seemed like you were on a roll.
Yeah, Beast of the East is the best thing I think I've ever been to. After you experience something like that, like 8 matches in 2 days, every match was like 1 point. You know you can wrestle anybody because you don't know their records. You find out later that they're all they're all great guys. It's the best experience I've ever. I loved it.
Well, and of course, in this match tonight, in order to get to that match, you had to beat Jimmer Donapel from Deptford High School 1-0, and that was a tough match.
That was clear. It was a lot closer than I wanted it to be. I was really dry. I was really tired.
Kingsway is a young team this year, Darren, and you guys that are coming, the guys that are coming back. It looks like the team is the way it finished the year looks like it bodes well for the future.
Yeah, definitely. The 7th and 8th grade team was undefeated. We got so many superstars coming up. It's going to be great. Cash there, he's a great coach. He'll do a lot with them. But we'll be back.
And I think it bodes well for the future. And, of course, Darren, a great tournament, was the Outstanding Wrestler Award. All of Gloucester County, Kingsway is proud of you. All of Gloucester County is proud of you, and District 29 people. It's great to see a performance like you put on tonight. You took it to overtime, you didn't lose your focus, and you dethroned the champion. It's got to be a great feeling.
Yeah, it's great.
Congratulations.
Darren, congratulations.
Good luck next week.
Coach, we're waiting for Paul Marino. Why don't we go over the scoring?
Sure.
Paulsboro, as we said, won it. They won it before the finals even started. Came on strong at the end.
Yeah.
But why don't you run through it?
And it was kind of anticlimactic, as we mentioned, but Paulsboro ends up with 259.5 points. Second place was Kingsway with 164 points. Clearview third with 130 points, and West Deptford fourth with 106 points. So, those are your top four teams with over the century mark. And, of course, Paulsboro with 259.5 wins by a ton of points. So just a great performance. And, of course, 7 individual champions, just like they had last year. A couple upsets in the finals as far as they're concerned. It's still a great team performance to cap a great year. Number 1 team in the state goes out with a flurry.
You wonder what I'm doing over here, don't you?
What are you doing over there?
Well, first of all, somebody's throwing the rope up and down, so I step up on that. They're asking us to turn our light off. We're in the middle of a segment.
Yes.
We're in the middle of a segment. Yell at Steve over here. We're in the middle of a segment doing our closing.
Right.
I don't think they can turn around and do their picture. But anyway, so I'm trying to hear direct these guys to just turn to their left and take the picture. But they want our light off. I don't know if we can turn it off. But anyway.
And we can't get Coach Marina because they got him for a picture there. So, just in review, John, hold this mic for 1 second. I can't do 3 things.
Let's just review. And
I think the big thing is that Paulsboro just is kind of like hammered at the end. They started out a little sluggishly. O'Hara got beat by P.J. Ryan of Gateway, and of course that was a revenge from a dual meet. Hunkler beat Cartel of Clearview 5-1, so Hunkler wins his 3rd district championship. Costin Bader lost to Reed again, this time 3-2, so it's the same thing as a dual meet. Cross lost to Gibbs again, same thing as a dual meet. This time it was 4-1 instead of 5-0. Hamilton beat Becker again in a dual meet, and that was his first district championship, and he was second in the districts last year, second in the region. So that bodes well for Hamilton for the upcoming week. Kama was surprised by Buseman in overtime 5-3 on a takedown 18 seconds into the period. Buseman never lost his focus. Kama didn't seem to be as aggressive as I've seen him in recent matches, and it took its toll. He's got to refocus and come out hard next week. Kingsway won again with Grissom at 140. Kingsway won again with Logue at 145 against Tunstall. West Deptford's Holmes edged Miller of Deptford 3-2, and then the floodgates opened. Guerin with a fall, Mendenhall with a fall, Bennett with a fall, Sharper with a fall, and Carl with a fall. So they really hammered up top.
Well, we'll just wrap it up since Paulsboro's taking that picture. We'll just say this was the final piece. Oh, there's Paul. We'll get him in real quick. Geez, I wonder if you guys will let us turn our light on now. A final piece of the puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. We called it the perfect season because we won everything that we stepped on the mat. We won everything we had to. The first 2 tournaments of the year, undefeated season, the conference, the groups, and the districts. And it was a nice ending.
You've coached a while, but were you a little surprised at how things turned out early on?
You mean the first first few weeks? No, we lost to some good people. I mean, Ryan O'Hara's a freshman. He's going to make some mistakes. He'll be back here in the next 3 years. Ryan did a great job, with him. He's a boy. He's been around a while, and he's a good wrestler. Costin Bader. What can you say about Costin Bader? I mean, he's just a gutty little boy. He goes right after it, and He lost to a good wrestler.
And kind of like started out at the beginning of the year, wasn't even really in the lineup at that point. I mean, there were a lot of thoughts at the beginning of the year that maybe Kroos would drop to 19, and as it turns out, Costabader was there when the first call was given. Didn't even wrestle in the Caldwell tournament, but when the call was given for him to wrestle, he stepped right in the lineup and did a great job.
Exactly.
First year varsity wrestling.
Exactly. Chris Costabader, if you're a Paulsboro fan and you've been watching wrestling, you know what he's done for this program this year especially. He's won some big matches.
Well, Paul, I just want to say congratulations. Great season.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Get him focused for the region.
Okay, Voj, interesting season. We're going to be back, or actually interesting district. We'll be back next week, huh?
Yes, we will. We're going to the Region 8 tournament in Absegami High School. Looking forward to it because not only will District 29 be there with some great champions, but we're going to have great champions from Districts 30, 31, and 32. The first to be flying next Saturday night.
First, and like I said, we'll have regions, and then CN8 will have the state finals. For John Vogening, I'm John Mondelli. We'll see you next week.